Then I am the force, coming straight from the mud like I am a loader. So हाथियों का बल कैसे सकेगा तू मुझे रोक अब देख तू कैसे मैं लड़ूं तुम लोगों से ऐसे न डरूं तरूं मैं जैसे मैं तरुण पानी पे चलूं मैं जैसे मैं वरुण चाहे मैं जीऊं या मरूं जो करना चाहूं मैं वही तो करूं आता है तू ना करीब तू बेटी चीप जब तक कटे ना तेरी ये जीप Better believe you're gonna be pick up a seat get in your team I'm the king of kings brother in arms in a battle you all gonna die if you act like a vandal bring the realm to reality from every angle this is the public service announcement from Mumbai to the rest of the world I am a Raja I am the Raja भिड़ेगा तो उठेगा जनाजा ना तू मेरी तरफ आना आ गया तो होगा फिर तनाजाना ये भारतीय भाषा फिर दुनिया सुनेगी ये तराना ना Cause I am the Raja Cause I am the Raja What do you see? I'm more than average, man. I'm a maverick. I can grow flowers on a barren land. Break a mountain with my bare hands.
Face Navi
and get no points in the process.
Absolutely crazy. It's crazy. But let's talk about the thing that every player cares about. You know, basically, we speak about stats a lot on the show. We talk about ACS, ADR assists, so on and so on. But there is one stat I feel like matters the most, the one that means the most to everybody, especially to our pro players. And that is, of course, headshot percentage. We love a good old headshot percentage. It tells us so much about that game. But all jokes aside, we're going to bring back a blind ranking. I'm going to give you guys 5 different players.
This always ends up.
And I want you to tell me where they will go.
A blind ranking.
I do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where you think they will go in terms of their career headshot percentage.
Career.
Career. Yes,
okay.
career.
Okay.
And we're going to start with an easy
going.
one. We're just going to start, you know, get the ball rolling at a player who is known for his aim for a very long time. And it is the Turkish god, one of the Turkish gods, CNED himself, Professor Charles Neddington. He played yesterday. He had a great game.
Yeah, but he played a lot of off.
That's what I'm thinking, too. I feel like CNED has to be... I want to put him third.
Yeah, let's do third. I feel like
down the middle?
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't know. Are we just doing EMEA?
Yes, just EMEA.
Just EMEA.
The best region.
Yeah,
I think third, just because
I mean even fourth.
Okay.
Okay.
Choose third or fourth.
Yeah, we don't know who else is on the list.
Third. Just a third.
Okay, I'm going to put you third, and I'm actually going to tell you what headshot percentage he is, if this lets me. And he actually has a career headshot percentage of 25%. There we go. That is average. Third is a nice place to start. Let's go next, because we can't talk about headshot percentage without the headshot machine himself, Scream.
He also so we're talking career, because there was also a time where he picked the op. Missed those days.
I wasn't here for the Scream era, so I'm leaning on you a little bit more for this one.
Oh, you missed out. You missed out.
I'm gonna give him second.
He's called the headshot machine.
I'm gonna give him second, yes.
All right, Scream.
Come on, I've been here for a very long time.
Headshot machine goes over there, and it is a whooping 32%.
You're doing well.
Career high.
Yeah, wait until you see the last two. She always leaves the last two.
They know him for his one-taps for a reason. And the third one, which is a player who's currently in our league, and of course, a lot of these players are going to be Turkish because they do have the best aim, and that is Elite from BBL.
So I know what you're doing this.
Because Ash, we're going to let Ash pick, because Ash is here during the Elite era, so...
I'm scared she's baiting us, because
it
is career. It is career.
I know him. The last one.
If it was just for this season, I would put him first, but I feel like going for fourth is a safer bet. Just I don't know.
It's Ash's pick. Ash gets to do it. Yeah, Ash, you tell me where.
You know what? I feel like looking at the 32% there for Scream, let's put him at first. Because when you're looking at Elite, realistically, I expect consistency out of him.
I want to know the number.
It would make sense.
Do you remember the number?
Yes, I remember.
You have to wiggle it a bit.
Yeah, here we go. It is 34. 7.
Okay.
He is above Screm. Okay, 2 more left. We have, let's do another Turkish player. I feel like this is a theme here.
It kind of suits.
Yeah, and it's going to be Alfaje.
He's gonna be higher than Cena, so we already.
Yeah, I feel like CNET should have been fifth, maybe.
I'm gonna do 4th because it's just I could not.
You can't put him at 5th. It's just not possible.
Alpha is too good. He's too good.
Yeah, and his headshot percentage, I'm gonna tell you right now, is
gonna be high.
A nice. Oh my god, I keep just. I'm trying my best. Well, no, because you can see the player otherwise.
I mean, it's gonna be the 5th, no matter what.
Here we go. 30%. There we go.
Yeah.
And last but not least, you might think that you've done this list correctly, but I'm going to tell you right now, you haven't, because it is Angel. Career headshot percentage?
Oh my god.
I don't know. You tell me, because he's doing
well,
5th.
He has to be.
He has to be.
matter
You don't
what.
have a choice.
You don't have a. Oh my goodness, you don't have a choice.
Wiggle it a bit.
I'm trying to wiggle. I'm trying to wiggle.
No, but you're wiggling too fast. You have to.
And yeah, he has to be 5th, but actually he has a higher headshot percentage than Alpha, higher than CNED, and almost the same as Scream at 31%.
I mean, I have to say, I'm very happy with our top 3. You know?
Because we didn't
because we're talking about all-time EMEA, right?
Yeah.
It's also players that are not playing anymore. And, you know, starting with CNET, we didn't even know, you know, what we could expect. You could have said, I don't know, I'm not going to throw anyone in the
Well, I'm glad you put Elite first, because if we take a look at the global headshot percentage leaderboard, he's not just first in terms of career high, he is first out of everyone in the world.
Yeah.
I freaking love this. I was looking at the stats when we closed out the stage 1 and how our players were doing, and it was so surprising that we had not highlighted Elite enough. Yes, headset percentage is not the most important stat in the world, but now it could be, and definitely for Elite. Not only that, even though these numbers are very close, there is something that sets Elite apart from the rest, and the fact that his KD is actually off the charts. It's like 1.34 or something like that. So right now, he was one of the best players, if not top 1, top 2, top 3, out of the best in the region.
I think that's a really good point to make, because it's not the fact that it's not like he's just getting a couple of kills and then that's just boosting his headshot percentage. He's taking so many engagements. He's such a solid anchor on the site as well. And you can see it in these clips, just the micro plays coming out from him.
Shout out to Red Guy, I want to say, for making it in there as well. I feel like he's not the player that we would have said to be in there, similarly to Angel as well, in the list that we made. But Elite, he was 1 map away from making playoffs. And you can't help but feel if they did end up making playoffs, he could have done a lot of damage.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So now we want to see how that is going to translate into this second stage, because BBL and the position that they were in, especially during the first split, is a position that we have seen BBL in the past. Now we need them to take advantage of, you know, being part of that mid-section that we have on the table.
Well, this is the thing, Ash. If we take a look at BBL's result, they've done this a couple of times in the past where they're so close to making it. The fate is in their own hand. They could have been first seed going into playoffs, but what happened?
Well, when you're looking at what happened, I want to focus specifically on that foot game. I think you look at the Icebox comp that they're running on that. They were running, I believe it was a double initiator, double controller, double sentinel comp. And it's a very heavy dive meta. And I think that had to do with, that was part of why they struggled up against Foot, who is going to be a lot more explosive. You don't have that ability to entry back onto sites. But BBL is also this very emotional team, and we saw the highs when they were winning earlier on in the season, but we saw also the frustrations mounting. And when they don't get the ball rolling early on in a series, which when they're starting off without a map win in either of those, it makes it very difficult for them to come back mentally.
And speaking of frustrations, I don't think a team could be more frustrated than Fnatic right now. They went to another international event, but Kukuka, the results were just not there.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's one of the first times, it's not the first time that we see Fnatic coming back from an international event, especially after what we saw in 2023. Winless, right? We saw them going on the stage and they had a little bit of that curse of that first seed. They weren't able to secure any of that. So now we have to see with the problems that they've had and with this short time, how they're going to face up this second stage.
Yeah, and speaking of the team, of course, you guys would know that Leo is not here with us. Hero will be stepping in, and here is head coach Elmer Putty to give us a bit of an update. I'm now sitting here with Fnatic's head coach, Elma Putty. Elma, welcome home. Welcome back to EMEA. It has been a pretty tough year, I think, for you and your boys. I think especially with the scheduling, there's been a lot of illnesses, and I think you guys have had kind of ups and downs. So I just wanted to ask you, how is everyone? And also, how's Leo doing?
I mean, we're all right. I mean, obviously, Shanghai didn't go as we wanted to. I think the boys are feeling pretty good. Obviously, Leo is a bit unwell right now. He's recovering. He's home in Sweden at the moment, so he's not actually here. But he's recovering. He's getting the help he needs, and hopefully we'll see him back soon.
The thing with Leo is he's one of those players that is just unreplaceable, right? Irreplaceable kind of player. So when it comes to Hero coming into your team, first of all, why Hero? And second, how is he going to fill that kind of initiation role that Leo was on?
So I mean, Hero, obviously, some of it comes down to what's available, who's available at the time. But I mean, Hero was he was a good player who's doing very well in the Turkish league. He's also quite flexible. We saw that he was playing Sentinel now for his team. Yeah. But last split, he was playing like KO Sky, those like flash agents, bit of breach in there as well. So I think looking at that, we're like, okay, this guy, he can keep stats up on a whole range of agents. We're going to need him to be a bit flexible because obviously our boys have certain roles, and we're going to work out what we're doing there. So I want someone a bit flexible, someone who can show they can shoot. So it's a bit of a combination of that. So that's where we ended up in Hero. Is
that the plan, to just do your 1-for-1, you know, so the other boys aren't going to be impacted with role changes?
There is some 1-for-1 in there for sure. Obviously, we consider what agents are going to be best. Obviously, Chronicle's a very flexible player, so if we need a flex one direction or other direction, Kron's always good for a little bit of that. So yeah.
Okay, I can't wait to see it. And lastly, before I let you go, as you know, the patches and the changes are pretty fast when it comes to this stage from week to week. Haven is coming back. Now, Haven is Fnatic's best map historically. Are you guys excited for that? And also looking ahead to Abyss as well. What do you make of that?
So that's what the boys tell me. They tell me they're very good at Haven. And I mean, they were. I remember watching them last year. They were good at Haven, but they've got all maps last year. So yeah. I think that's not a bad swap for us. Obviously, Breeze is another map we can play, but I think Haven might even be a little bit of an upgrade. Patch changes, the boys all hate ISO. Oh, no. I just hear they're playing ranked at night, and it's just this idiot with a shield. So we'll see how we navigate that in pro play. Obviously, rank's a little bit different, but yeah, it should be interesting. I think it's always fun to explore new options and have to work something out because stuff can get stale after a while.
Do you think that's a good thing for you guys, that you will have new things to come in to work with?
I kind of wish with the state right now, with obviously the Leo thing, we won't have to work out too much, but I think it's fine. I think we've got smart people, we've got Boaster who's very good at cooking stuff up. So I think we're more than capable to adapt to the meta that'll be coming forward. I
mean, if there's anybody, it's going to be you guys. Thank you very much, Elma, for joining me, and best of luck today. I mean, you've heard it there from Elma Putty. They are considering maybe a more of a 1-for-1 with Leo and Hero. But Kukuko, how is this going to look realistically?
Yeah, exactly. So if we take a look at what Hero has done in the past, by the way, just 18, we know everything in 2024 is about the youngsters. We see a lot of Sentinel, but this kid has played everything. Earlier in the year, he played a lot of initiators. And earlier on in 2022, he was a duelist main. So he's another one of the super young flex gods.
Well, it's not very often we get to welcome a new face here at VCT EMEA. So without further ado, it's time to bring out Fnatic and BBL to kick off day 2. Of course, the Hero isn't just the only new face we have on stage here today. BBL, they changed out their coaching staff as well in the break between Shanghai and now. But this is the question: how much are we going to see in terms of difference when it comes to BBL? And also, how much can Fnatic maintain normality and just slot hero riding where Leo was supposed to be?
I mean, it's difficult. I don't think that that should be the goal. I don't think that Leo is a very easy to replace a player. I think it's funny. Apparently, we're going back to the meta where BBL is just taking a stand, even though I don't think they have won a single one this year, but definitely is a map where they know what they want to do.
Well, what I will say is, Ash, in the past we've heard it from Fnatic. They pracked BBL a lot. They were pracking them constantly, and they were pracking them constantly on Ascent as well. So maybe Ash, BBL have some tapes, have something that they've seen that they could use against them.
I think it's possible. I think you're also looking at the fact that Fnatic historically, sure, they might not have too bad of a scoreline on Ascent for this season. However, a lot of that has come down to a lot of individual performances. You're looking towards Durka. Previously, when Leo, before he took his break, he was a difference maker on this map that allowed them to actually carry over to that finish line, as opposed to more so consistent play that we normally expect from them.
Yeah, exactly. We also saw the bind. It looks like we're back in 2022. BBL picking Ascent and Fnatic picking bind. But now, seriously, it brings some concern to me, right? Because BBL, they still have a very, very good chance of making playoffs, of forgetting the 2 chances that they had to secure playoffs or even get first seed on the split one and do something different for this one. Now, going to Ascent, I feel like it's making it too easy for Fnatic, because if there is a map where you should know what you have to do as an initiator, and you know, because everybody plays the usual standard comp, it is Ascent.
And also, as we take a look at Agent Select, Boaster is helping Hero put on his in-ears on stage before. It is his first time on stage. He is extremely excited, and Chronicle is playing Deadlock.
No. What is happening?
I do not think that there is a way. Also, remember, everybody, the teams that were here did not experience the changes to Viper and Cypher. Yes, we did see at Masters where EMEA have to experience it as well. But yeah, Kron definitely has a plan. They decide to go for double Sentinel here. They're starting on the defense, and I expect a 12-0.
You expect the 12-0 to start things
I
off?
want an explanation to this.
I mean, starting off on defense definitely makes the comp a lot more feasible, but I am also worried about that other half where they're not going to have those flashes.
Well, I can't wait to see this. We got new players, new coaches, new agents, new everything, but the same old casters. Here's Mitchman and Tombiz. Hey, guys.
Thank you so much, Yinsu. Yes, we're back for another game of Valorant, a best of 3 between Fnatic and BBL, starting on Ascent, the old Turkish home ground, but it's not that extra province anymore. I'm excited for a lot of things today. Hero on stage, you already see him having trouble putting the in-ears in, but once he gets on the server, there's going to be no problems for BBL. This is a chance to start off this stage on the right foot, Tom.
Yeah, it's always nice when one of Fnatic's heroes needs a break, and then you have another hero that can just step right into his shoes. I like that. That's the one day I'm going to use that joke, and never again. I'm more interested by the fact that we have the deadlock, though, because there's something Fnatic tried before. Alpha was running it. It didn't go well. I think in EMEA in general, deadlock has not gone very well. Only Loud, I think Sadax had a few successful runs out with that deadlock, but yeah, it's not been the prettiest of picture. I do think on Ascent, though, there's a lot of interesting things that can be run, especially on that defense. A lot of very tight chokes, especially ones that you're going to jet dash through. So having the sensors are going to be very useful. The wall itself as well, the barrier mesh is going to be viable. And even just on retakes, like if you have players in the boathouse where you can make them crouch, that's always going to help you out a little bit. So there's plenty of ideas, plenty of things you could be doing. We'll wait and see if they work, because that's always, they've got a new player and they're running an agent that nobody really plays. So it's going to be exciting to see what they've got. And also they're up against BBL. Even if this map is 0-3 for this year, it's BBL on Ascent.
You know, I'm excited to see for a number of reasons, but mostly, I wonder if BBL have ever played up against a deadlock. Well, they're going to get an opportunity to fight one, perhaps. Chronicle, though, able to make it out of main and bail back. The knife caught him early. The drone will be sent through to clear those corners now, but it's already been left. Free space for BBL, but they're looking for global control. Having already walked up short around mid, the fight's not being offered by a much more passive defense from Fnatic, only looking for the information for now.
Sensors already gone. Durka under pressure and already eliminated. Elite, the highlight of Split 1. He was fantastic in all of BBL's games. and he's definitely somebody to watch. The battle of him versus Alpha here is something I've been excited for. Well, I was going to say he'll split, but that's only one day.
Yeah, short time window as there is for Fnatic to get back in. BBL quickly finding all the kills and leaving Chronicle alone. Let's see what that deadlock can do. This pistol might not be where the utility gets its best run at it. Already out of util, down to the pistol, taking easy, and even Pora! Chronicle off to a flyer of a start here on Ascent.
How he does it every time.
It's the deadlock. It's the deadlock.
You know it's going to be good when you get a Red Bull clutch from Chronicle in round 1. That's already a great sign. This is a man who has done this so many times throughout the years of the VCT. The king of trophies himself. And what an unfortunate start for BBL, because realistically, this is a round they probably shouldn't have lost, especially with that peek from Pora. I thought he was dead to rights.
If it was anyone else, he might have been. But Chronicle able to make it work. 3 kills on the board. Flyer of a start for the deadlock player. And I think BBL did a great job at dealing with a lot of the utility. They go up in B, they avoid the trap of the player pushed up close. They go on short, see players, they don't immediately burst through. Again, aware of that utility potentially lurking. Destroyed the sound sensor, the sonic sensor. And from that point, they had the sight and only lose off individual duels. Not a bad start to this attacking side realistically, but now they're left down to pistols. And this second round should be a pretty dominant one for Fnatic.
Yeah, you'd expect it to be. A couple of sheriffs to play with, and as I said, I think when you've got Kushner and Elite, there's always going to be a little bit of danger. In fact, Dirk's not going to be able to find too much with his initial peak other than some damage. But I do wonder if maybe that rifle will be switched into another player's hands. But of course, you do want to farm up any ultimate orbs. Although saying that, the closest is Chronicle for the annihilation. Getting him a closer.
Well, a round 3 annihilation would be something. Doesn't look like the opportunities are coming his way, though. Perhaps a retake for Chronicle if they do lose players. BBL angling towards B. Yeah, we've seen the slow shift as well from Elite as the trap is broken. Markets the new target. Straight into Hero they go. Hero's got a Guardian, and the first shot lands perfectly. Cage up for Alpha, only with a pistol. He's the player that can take a few more risks. That's exactly what he does, finding the value off the trap. Chronicle inside the smoke, waiting to emerge, and he's being watched. Brave, at least making it costly with 1 player down. And any damage from this point could be spectacular, but an end is put to that, and the player with the pistol able to recover a Bulldog. That is a perfect second round for Fnatic.
Yeah, nothing lost other than shields. Guns can be joggled around as well, so this bonus is going to definitely have some legs to it.
10 seconds left. Spike down B.
So far, so good. Hero at the top of the board. And that's the thing, it's going to be all eyes on him.
Good job. Nice run.
Maybe that's why they picked the deadlock. You have the distraction. You're going to be watching the deadlock rather than seeing what Hero's doing. Of course, seems like maybe a little bit of a tech issue. First time on stage, you know.
First tech issue for Hero. Take a picture. Catalog it.
It's interesting though, because I don't remember having any tech issues yesterday when Pansy wasn't here.
Right? And she
is here now. I'm not saying, like, obviously you don't want to talk about like correlation, causation, and effect. Like, there could be so many reasons that could happen. Just putting that information out into the world, and people can do with it what they like.
Yeah, it does just kind of seem like those stars align every time. A little bit suspicious. Just keep her away from the cables. But a 2-0 start. I'm excited when we get back in. We get BBL, rifles in hand. Ult's not really close for either team. This should be a more conventional third round. But Fnatic have already done quite a bit. We've seen, I think it was a recon from Hero just as they made it out of B. Catches all that information. Alpha follows up on it. He had his trap set up as well. They've been changing them around. And the sonic sensor's in the same position, but I think over towards short in these rounds. But that's going to be a big problem for BBL because their mid control it's been something they're looking for. It's something they look for in a lot of their games. Fnatic are conceding that space and instead looking to just pounce on them once they make it through the choke point, which is usually where they want to amp up the pace. I'm not a huge believer in Deadlock or in Deadlock's kit, but hey, if anyone's going to convince me of it, I think it will be Fnatic.
Yeah, I think in Chronicle as well. I think this is someone who can play basically any agent in the entirety of the game. And any that he hasn't tried, there's probably a pretty good reason. Kushner, though, he's looking for that initial fight and see you later. It doesn't matter what utility Chronicle had online. If he's met with a headshot, if he's shot in the face, there's nothing he can do with it.
Yeah, those sound sensors won't be doing anything from this point forward. BBL, site control, rifles in hand, post plant to play with.
Planted.
Back completely covered by Elite as well, not worried about a flank. All they have to do is fight forward, and Braves doing a damn good job of it. They're still going. A confident face to this attacking side, and they get the reward. A 4 versus 1 that Durka does not want to get involved in. That's the round for BBL. And the question is whether he can save this rifle, and as always, make this a costly round if any exits come through, but it doesn't look like he's keen to look for those exit frags.
Yeah, I do feel a little bit bad for Hero going up against BBL as the first team of the split, because they are a team that I think over the last year or so, where obviously we saw changes in personnel, but also in the style of which they played, but they still have that edge. Every once in a while, we are just going to see a heads-up direct play. There's not many better aimers than Kushner on the planet. No, definitely not many better than Elite. We've seen that from our headshot percentage stats that we had earlier on. That man likes to shoot people in the face. For now, though, relatively easy cleanup, but for Fnatic it's not too much of a problem. They still have the purchase, Annihilation 1 away, couple off having that Hunter's Fury as well. But to be honest, no ults online just yet.
Yeah, it's been a slow burn in that aspect, but this is the round where they definitely could come online, especially looking at Chronicle. The death last round gives them just 1 away from the Annihilation. Cam dealt with immediately, as we've seen in a few of these rounds. BBL go out for their mid control. Kushner, the only one sent for this, and it makes sense that there's been no challenge from Fnatic around this area. BBL are sensing that that is their space from the very start. Once those barriers go up, knife clears back. They know there's no aggression on A, that they have mid control. At this point, if you're Elite, you probably are expecting someone to come peeking around those corners anytime at B, but it's a very passive hold from Fnatic.
The thing is, it's a very different look with this comp, because you're running a double Sentinel instead of the double Initiator. So you don't actually have the flashes to play with. You have one Paranoia, which you're going to want to try and keep for a retake or to slow a push. So you're not looking to pop flash in or use the knife to get info. You're just literally going to try and sit back. In this case, Durka does go hunting, and well, as I said, there wasn't really anything to go alongside it. A dry peek, which makes things very easy for the side of BBL.
Yeah, just hearing the steps on short. As we said, they hadn't been playing aggressive on mid. Perhaps the element of surprise could have given Fnatic the upper hand, but it hasn't. BBL punished them immediately.
30
Find themselves,
seconds left.
as we said, a ton of map control. They already had mid, now they've gone all the way to bottom mid. Hero has a challenge and only escapes with 26 HP, but BBL are looking the other direction. It's the B site that becomes the new target. Alpha still has his traps online, looking for some wall bangs, but they're stepping right over them. 12 seconds, have to move to the site to get this plant. Hero dealt with, that's a sliver of health removed. They know Alpha should be around this position. Plant coming through, if he could deny it, it would be huge, but no chance. Doesn't want to give up his position in his life, but now, as the last man standing, trapped in Boathouse, with the entire enemy team right in front of him, his chances are slim. And BBL, with an Andalucia flawless, managed to equalize the scoreline.
Yeah, I think we're already seeing the slight gaps in what the composition of Fnatic allows. Like, if you don't have those flashes to go for those aggressive plays, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to win fights if your opposing team is waiting for you. That's definitely a little bit of a mistake. We didn't need to highlight that. Come on, first game in VCT and you're showing that. But yeah, I'm interested to see how this works for Fnatic, because on a passive front, you're able to delay, you're able to deny control. On a proactive front, it's a lot more risky. And that's where I want to see, because especially on the defensive side of this map, there is normally a lot of battles for A, battles for B.
It's an uncomfortable fight.
It was an interesting fight. I don't think I've seen many people dash into that angle before.
Yeah, but it's the confidence that Kushner's playing with, especially up against a weaker buy. It is a roll of the dice. There's the aggression finally for Elite, but he got a little uneasy. He's looking for a cam for any players trying to grab the information, but instead it was the aggression catching him. Advantage now sits with the team that really doesn't have a lot to play with, just the pistols. Barrier mesh already thrown through. That's actually going to cut up this attacking side. It slows their push. It isolates Kushner. Now the ult's online, and the shot from Chronicle is perfect. Poor is the last man standing. This round looked like a guarantee for BBL, and instead, a A 1 versus 3 with a flank coming through from Alpha, a player in front, soon to be blocked out by the door, but all that could serve as a distraction. 35 seconds. And still no real comfort ground to plant that spike, and it looks like he definitely suspects the flank. And he will land the first few shots. Alpha down, then another! Pora going blow for blow, and now it's only Hero with 70 HP and a Sheriff.
You could see Pora going hunting. 15 seconds left. He's eventually going to have to get this spike down. He's trying to bait in his opponent again.
10 seconds
Hero
left.
almost takes it, but that plant hasn't happened. He's going to know that there's a peek coming through. Even getting tagged up, the shock dart will make him incredibly low. Just a peek out, but he doesn't connect the shot. It's Pora to pull off the Red Bull clutch and throw away what could have been a huge thrifty round for Fnatic.
That's a devastating way to lose it. That shock dart's so close to even taking him down, making it doable within the one shot for the Sheriff, but the rate of fire was the real problem this time. Chronicle had him annihilated either way, but for Pora to slice up this defending side into 1v1 duels, catching the flank as well. What a read, realizing that those other players weren't pressuring him, and why wouldn't they be? Well, it's because of that last man. What should have been the saving grace. Instead, it's a death sentence. BBL 3-2. But that was a low buy round for Fnatic. Let's not lose sight of the fact that they made that round close.
Yeah, it's still one though. You lose a 1v3, you're not going to be feeling good about it. No matter how much damage you did, and it's this man again. Chronicle's been caught a few times. Just the straight up aggression that this man takes, it's really difficult to play against because you do normally expect, look, they're running a double initiator. You expect the piece of util to go through to set this man up, but Kushner doesn't need it. Off to a flying start.
You see some of the issues here. The B main control for Fnatic with a cam deep, but they're still worried about mid. Thanks to having no control there, no traps to cover it on the walkthrough, so they're not stacked up on the site where the push is coming in. Durka still manages to find the first, and there's a bit of a sneaky play from Boaster. Tucked up close, good flash, but Durka's there to save the day. Gets the paranoia online. There's the swing, but Reezy still able to land one in return. Doesn't look like it's that close with the Blade Storm online, though. This is where Durka can do serious damage and might not need it. Only one man left, a lead in a 1v3 that this time Fnatic will close out.
Oh, we're seeing an explosive game already. Durka managing to take that round home almost single-handedly. Yeah, it had a little bit of help here and there for Boaster, but almost just looking like a distraction and just unable to clear this jet from the backlines. Tunnel visioned in on where the IGL was going, and come on, some clean work from the jet. A back and forth game so far. And still finances available, and more importantly, ults for the side of BBL. This round isn't going to get any easier, but seeing Durka with that operator again gives me hope. It's a weird one, though, because on the other side, Pora has it.
I mean, I guess Kushner doesn't need it. He's just been hitting headshots every time, so I guess he basically has an op to work with. And you wouldn't really want to be working the map the way that he is. Up in these close angles, trying to take the picks. Now, there's a reposition from Chronicle. It's been caught out a couple of times as that first pick on A. Really not what you want from your deadlock. That opens the floodgates for BBL to dive straight into the site. That's why we see a much more passive face just spotting the pixels. Drone used on mid. Oh, Hunter's Fury, it's caught its first. Just about missing on the next, and not quite on target for third. Still, damage done.
That's like Pora alone. I guess him having the operator now makes even more sense. Allows him to still have that one-shot capability. Again, you can see that BBL are consistently looking for that aggression, but the only aggressor anywhere on the map has been Durka. Other than that, there's nobody with a get-out-jail-free card, so just gonna have to try and sit back on this one. The mesh holding them at least for a little longer, but instead they're gonna look to try and move into the den of Hero and Alpha. And with 20 seconds left, this backside hold might be difficult.
Chronicle down, but his util wasn't here. They'll still need to watch out for Alpha's traps as they make their way through. There's one. 10 seconds left. The timer ticking away as Hero steps up for his double. The Odin on backside combining. They dropped Alpha. They weren't ready for the second man. 4-3 now in the lead in Fnatic's lap.
Yeah, I think Boaster in the middle of that also TP'd his way back into the site. So it was a three-man stack by the time the push actually went in. And I do think that BBL are in a bit of a weird spot on the attack side because they know that they're waiting to see if their opponents go aggressive, as you normally do on this map. They're waiting patiently. The problem is with how passive Fnatic are being, with how dense their defensive utility is, you can't be going in with 20 seconds left. It worked the first time out with a little bit of luck, but I don't think that's going to work consistently.
Well, BBL have called the timeout, 40 seconds to touch base with their coaching staff. For Fnatic, we really haven't seen that early aggression come out. Like you said, Durka walkabouts on mid, that's pretty much it. One of the lower rounds, the low buy rounds, Alpha pushed B main as well after seeing A aggression. But as far as pushing and pulling the map, it doesn't seem like that's really an opportunity for BBL right now. Like you said, the double sentinel, it keeps them happy, keeps them bunkered down in their positions. I think one of the bigger problems was that they couldn't even, it was a round that they won on the A site. They ended up in the 3 players alive. But they couldn't rotate off B, even though they had the information. There's no one in B main. They didn't have a trap for mid. This time they do. And so it meant that 2 players still had to sit on that B site, hold down the fort. If they can keep that, just a little bit of proactive control around the bottom of middle, I think this game gets a lot easier for Fnatic to have numbers ahead of those pushes whenever BBL are going for it.
Well, in this round, I do think we might be seeing a bit of a pace change from both sides. Immediately, space taken. Flash already giving them that control. Durka, there isn't really a way out, but it doesn't look like they're looking to try and leave. Nice shot from Reezy, though. It is going to be the 1-for-1 trade. Durka might want to try and guard that gun, just because, if anything, that trade kind of benefits BBL.
Oh, absolutely. When you've got players on weaker weapons, this is absolutely perfect. And the shot through the smoke not going to land. Rifle is retrieved. Now BBL thinned out the defense and have better armed themselves for the late stage battles that are soon to come. Even picking up an orb on Pora, now just 1 away from grabbing his ultimate. But it doesn't look like they're shifting back to B to grab it. Instead, looking forward. Boaster
I know exactly
up close, has the support of Durka. That's helped him out in the past, and he will back off. Durka's abilities cancelled. It's when they decide to break through this cage, or break through whatever's there. It should be off the back of the smoke, but instead it's Kushner walking through short to grab the double. The rifle in his hands is deadly. And now he's even got the operator upgraded too. Alfiair's 1 versus 3. Well, he does seem to be going for it. They've got the credits to risk it.
Spike planted.
He needs something quick. Kushner's going to give him that fight. He doesn't miss the shot, though. He's been fantastic so far today. And that was the problem with this round. The initial pick that actually went through for Fnatic was Brave. So they had no smokes to entry into the A side, which it should be nigh on impossible. So I believe what they did instead was they used the Hunter's Fury to push players out of position and then have Kushner run in on the entry. And when you got this guy on the entry, sometimes that's going to work out anyway.
Yeah, absolutely gorgeous round. I was expecting to see the first point of contact being a flash from Pora and then Kushner swinging in, but he just doesn't need that support. The guy is winning heads-up duels again and again, putting it to 4-4, equalizing the scoreline. Still rifles in hand for both squads. Ultis for Fnatic, not great from the shadows for both squads, but it's Pora finding that last ult orb that puts the null command online. A big entry ability for this squad, and well, it'll be a fresh change to not see Kushner as the first man in, if even.
Look how much utility there is currently around Durka. It's like he's just surrounded by a million different traps. And then they've put the other players on the other side of the map. So almost just going for a gamble that he can then fall back if he needs to. The problem is that mid control, though. They don't have a lot in this direction. A couple of players looking to try and face in that direction instead. But as we've seen throughout so far, BBL are happy to have these faster pace rounds and then slow back down and just play off the information they have.
I like that knife. A lot of the dangerous close corners are cleared out by it, so that's a lot of information, and then the ult used, presumably, to cancel out the utility to catch Alpha or Chronicle, but neither are caught by it. This setup is perfect from Fnatic. It's whether BBL will fall for the trap, will step into these danger zones, and they've already removed one of the players who could do any damage to them. Durka's left blinded, and even as the trap catches one, he's in! The blind fades, and just like that, the round is theirs! That is unbelievable from Durka! I thought he was too late to capitalize on the trap, but, well, I was incorrect.
Yeah, I think they had 2 lots of traps down that corner. So it not only had the reveal that lets him know there's somebody there,
Sonic sense.
but then they get stunned as well, and so they can't move. So they're all just stuck in the mud as they go to swing. It's disgusting. Like, that is a really nasty setup from Fnatic, and that's always the thing when running up against a composition like this. A team like Fnatic is always going to have ideas that you're not quite ready for, and I think that was definitely one of them.
That was absolutely gorgeous. Poor result, the big Brave play last round. This time, Boaster getting aggressive with Chronicle. They find their pick, they get out of there. Maybe not. Brave is behind them, committed the teleport. Even with a classic, he's the only player without a rifle. And he's gone in, a man behind enemy lines, but severely under armed. I mean, what's the position here? Do they clear Chronicle? They know that that's a gap in their information, and the Cloudburst goes down so they can isolate the fight. Well handled. Still need to link up with Brave, and Boaster's between them.
It's got to be such a confusing way to play. They managed to clear him out. Almost full rotation, but leaving Alpha behind. There is still time for BBL to play with. The problem is a man down and weaponry still in hand. The thing is, this is almost being played as a bit of a bonus. Like they have themselves a bit of extra cash to play with for the next. So although damage probably wouldn't be what they're hoping for, if they lose this round, they should still be able to buy.
30 seconds left.
Taking it right towards that Cypher setup. Traps further back, though. They go down lane. It's only going to be Alpha that can stop them. Reveal up top. The smoke is perfectly timed to counter that out. 12 seconds, though. That spike needs to make its way to sight, and as they try, Hero picks them apart. 8 seconds. They can win this just with the bodies they've got left on the field. And Kushner can't get near that spike. There's no way for BBL to recover. The question is if he can save this weapon. They're hunting him down, and Durka will be the one to find the kill. 6-4, a 2-round lead now. We're finally seeing these teams separated by something, but like you say, Tom, it's not the end for BBL. They're right back into their buying ways.
Yeah, they've definitely had their struggles on this map this year. 2 losses to Na'Vi, I'll say are forgivable.
That's ridiculous.
A loss to Gentlemates as well. And yet to get a win on the board. This pick may have even just been based off the fact that Fnatic really struggled against their Turkish brothers afoot, but they may have had a game plan for what was on the table before. Unfortunately, Fnatic changed that quite drastically.
Yeah, even the roster as well, right? Hero impressed me last round. What a read. He puts up his recon, sees the smoke bloom, realizes if they're not being revealed, and there were players shooting at me a second ago, they have to be in that smoke. It's the easiest wall bang of his life, and he gets 2 out of it. Completely neutering that push, and with so little time, that's the difference. I mean, it also dropped the spike, right? So the player on site hadn't even got a chance, even if they were left entirely alone. 1 minute on the clock.
Right here.
BBL,
Right
a little
here.
slower, working that mid control. As I said, they've sensed that this space is being left mostly open for them. If Hero spots them, there could be some dangerous wall bangs coming in, but for now, they're just about avoiding giving that info away. There it is, though.
And they've got to be careful. Again, a bit quicker this time. That's been the major problem with going into this site, is they have been running out of time on that clock. Alpha is going to be under a bit more pressure, but already seeing... It seemed like Boaster was going to try and rotate, but he got denied. Had to fall back. And now Hero needs to try and get something through this smoke. Has the support of Chronicle. But the advantage is going to stick. And finally, we're going to see an afterplant on B.
Over there.
At long last. Annihilation online on the way back through. Fnatic have Boaster making his way in mid, and he's being caught, checking the wrong way. Chronicle only good for 1, the numbers thinning. And Fnatic locked out by a smoke. An Operator and an Odin to work with. Credits pretty healthy for the next round.
Yeah.
They don't need to go saving. It's a very strange look to see them backing off like that, but they found another pick for their trouble. Time now, though, a huge issue. The spike's already ticking far too fast for them to root out these final players. So it's going to be Hero sent to try to make it costly, drop some weapons, while Dirk is saving that off for the next.
I think we finally saw the adaptation I wanted from BBL. I think this composition is so difficult to play against because normally you're expecting aggression. The way you play Ascent is you're ready for people to try and take A main, take B main, and although that's been here and there for Fnatic, the majority have been anchoring themselves right at the back of the site with a few set plays. And this round definitely seemed like more of an adaptation to that. Like, okay, we know they're going to be more passive, so let's wait initially, move a little bit quicker into these rounds, and well, not allow Alpha to sit at the back of site with 15 seconds left. That was the main thing they needed to beat.
That's always going to be an issue. Annihilation was used last round, not too much success. Haven't seen it land so far. It's only been the 2. And even then, one of them crowd control the kill out of it. Durka, Bladestorm active as a last resort, and he's caught by the reveal. Kushner clean on the follow-through. And not clean on the dodging. Couldn't get out of Hero's ultimate. So a 4v4, a trade that Fnatic have managed to pluck out of that situation.
Yeah, and it's a pretty good trade by him. Kushner has been one of the most important factors. Chronicle's position as well. This crossfire has been created in a bit of a peculiar way. Timing, though, might not be with him. He's going to go swinging. And while he's got the information, he's found where 3 of the players from BBL are. The problem is, it cost him his life. Boaster as well. This is a risky position to be in. They've seen him. They know he's there. All these aggressive spots from Fnatic have failed miserably. And now Hero, well, that's what they need. First goes his way. Needs a little bit more. Gets a second as well. An ace on the cards. A player or two have done that in their debut, but this might be the best of them.
Spike planted.
Drone will give him the information on Tapora. A little bit further away for Elite, who's sat back. Winning this should be nigh on impossible with how far back his opponent is sitting. Pora up close, and he's not going to be able to. A nice attempt from the newbie, but it's going to end 6-6 at the half.
Not a bad half for him on a debut.
Yeah.
Certainly winning my heart with those Odin
matching
plays.
Durka. That's anyone does that and you're impressed.
Yeah, that's all it takes. An intimate knowledge of the Odin. And that's what it gets you. And the Hunter's Fury worked well, but just losing those picks, and I think the big problem is the fact that they heard Boaster. The later play out of Brave, he was on his way back from A main, and he heard those steps on short making their way to mid. There's nowhere else he could have went. Good comms from BBL, 6-6 at the half, moving on to their defense, and I guess the real concern, Tom, is comm from Fnatic. You are losing some of those tools to make your way into a side as well.
Yeah, I think this would be where the main worry is. Now they're going to have set ideas. We've already seen that. I think Vitality did quite well with using the grab net to get them openers, but they were running it with a raise. Here they're not. That's definitely going to make things quite a bit more difficult to combine. I do like the fact they'll be able to lock stuff off for the retake, though. I think that's one of the most powerful pieces of this kit, is having that wall, the barrier mesh, to just delay anybody on the way back in.
Not only that, but sonic sensors on a plant can be so dangerous. You have to make noise to start that diffuse. That will set them off. And there's some positions you can put them in where it's a little bit more difficult to destroy them. You'll have to expose yourself to wider angles. Kushner is in a bit of trouble. That rotation is going to take a while to make its way all the way through. And while they break it, Alpha steps up behind, takes the kill. Kushner back turned, gun put away. The BBL, not quite being put away in that mid fight, but everything else going the way of Fnatic. 4 versus 2. Hero and Boaster, 20 HP, holding on by a thread. To rely on those other players to land something. It's Chronicle and Durka holding this choke point. Once Chronicle gets contact, Durka swings, and that will close the round.
Important pistol, I think, for Fnatic. Again, I think things are only going to get harder as they go along, but I like the ideas we're already seeing. Just shutting off the rotation like that. Wall, you kind of forget, because the initial wall definitely wasn't that ridiculous in its size, but with people using it more and more, it's like you can just lock people out completely, and I'm sure of all the deaths Kushner has had in VCT, that's got to be top 5.
Good job.
Like just crouched, knifing a wall, getting shot in the back. Nonetheless, the 3 rifle, 2 pistol buy for Fnatic. Just hoping that only a couple of them are dropped, if anything. And for the other side of things, BBL have invested next to nothing. Only the utility, which of course they can carry through to the next round.
And look, just that drone in the smoke already starting to get players moving off the B site. The orb being taken. The control on the back of it that in BBL's head is now being given over to their opponents. But I like this. For a couple seconds, they started to over-rotate. Then they hunker back down. 2-1-2. Realizing that Fnatic are just trying to get a feel for how this defensive side is going to move. But these are the rounds where you take the gambles. Usually those gambles are teams stacking up together, looking to make these weaker weapons work for them by adding up the numbers. Pora was trying to sneaky play, but he'll back off, and the B side is where I guess more of a stack is coming into play.
Here.
Yeah, they're slowly going to get surrounded on though. Rotations will be cut once again, although this time it looks like the defenders are attempting to come through mid. And Durka just looking up to farm as many orbs as possible. Kushner's done well though. Kept things even. He's hoping to try and get the gun, but lurking within the smoke is another. And somehow though, Pora, who's been firing today, he's also picked up the rifle, and he does it all on his own. His teammates not even got there yet.
I was about ready to count them out of that one, Tom. Pretty understandably, I think.
Yeah.
The fact is, you know, they've got some players tucked in corners, down below. You walk through, you look left, you try to take them, but somehow they're able to come out ahead nonetheless. A pay safe card thrifty for BBL, and another big individual round out of this squad. That's frustrating, as you can see, for the side of Fnatic, and it most definitely puts the wind in BBL's sails. Plain sailing as well. No icebergs to be seen. It's just pistols for Fnatic. Valfier, the only one able to buy up a little bit. A Guardian. And he'll be presumably entering with that.
Well, he was one of the pistol players from the last round, so that's where the extra cash has gone. Not where it's expected to go, though. Already, Pora under some pressure. He's going to be made to crouch for a second or two. And he's going to go down because of it. Now it's Durka's turn. Anything you can do, this man can do better. Puts them in an advantage. Breezy, he's looking to trade it all on his own, but he'll go down because of it.
Sound sensor up.
Spike has been spotted and dropped. Both players coming in from above.
He's trying to figure out where it is. Teammate even tried to shoot the sonic sensor. There's another burst. Both of them catching up top, slowing them on the way through, and you can see the problem. If you try to jump down, you're in big, big trouble. For Fnatic, just waiting for that drop to come in. Player down below baiting with a couple of jumps. Nice shot to start it, but Dirk is able to return. Chronicle, just a classic up close. 31 HP, 19 now. The reload, and he's got him. The lead, having a mare to take down this player. Seemed like he was backed into a corner, but that was the whole plan.
This has just been an absurd game so far. Another pay safe card thrifty to kick off this second half. It's pistols and then back to back. He let go too early on that, didn't he?
It's the timing now. This is the problem, and literally, a dictionary definition example of it. He's not familiar with playing against this agent. You're not used to it. So he thinks, oh, I've pulled it out already. Realizes he hasn't, goes for it again, and Durka gets 2 kills because of it. Best deadlock play I've seen.
Yeah, unfortunately, Pora
Standing ahead.
doesn't have the best pull-out game, it seems, but hopefully that will improve as things go along. 8-7. It's only going to be a couple of rifles and some pistols to play with. And on the other side, well, we're kind of back to regular programming now, as it's a full buy for Fnatic.
And those weaknesses on BBL, don't want to count them out just yet from what we've seen already. B site was about to be rotated off, but Kushner has no choice now. He's been locked in by the barrier mesh. Good thing too. He'll be here to support the squad. Rifle in hand. The timing, everything for that spawn peek. Reezy's already been dropped on the side. Paranoia, not good actually, but Elite not able to get the work done. Kushner only good for one. They have done a fair bit of housekeeping already. 2 versus 4, 1 rifle, and the flash already used up by Pora. The timing not great.
The good thing is if you see a KO flash blinding someone on BBL, you know it's come from BBL. Because normally on Ascent you're going to get KO on either side. But Brave, oh, good luck. They're stuck in a corner. They already know he's here. Low on HP. Dirk is going to finish him off as well. 9-7. Fnatic extending their lead. This back and forth definitely not helping out BBL in the early stages of their defensive half. And as I said, like, this is where I do feel like Fnatic should have their struggles. Definitely a reliance on Durka to have a great performance. Luckily, he is.
Guess it's not a bad gamble to take. I get worried every time I see Kushner with an opportunity like that. Players' backs turn.
I get worried when I see Kushner. That's just it.
That's all you
don't need the rest. The surprising thing is, though, again, Elite, when it came to the regular season of Split 1, was the #1 rated player. He's had 4 kills right now. He's struggling. Not been having the best of games. But on this defensive side, setup in hand. No KO to take it away either, so he can just play comfortably. This is where I expect to see a bit more of a step up from him. Hit some more of those headshots.
Absolutely. It's a better opportunity for sure. Back to comfort.
My ult is ready.
And running into that deadlock is very different than having deadlock run into you. 9-7. 2-round gap momentum in Fnatic's hands. BBL have got the rifles back out. Reezy and Elite are the ones to take this challenge on B. You can see the rotation from BBL. Look at where Kushner is. He's already moved his way back to the A side. They weren't expecting another commitment into this side. Hunter's Fury caught them both. It's almost a guaranteed kill with them stuck in such a narrow angle. That makes it easier for Durka to take them down after. One blade already dispensed. Kushner's made it here to help. Found his first and backing up those players on site. Fnatic might think twice about going for this still. They need a pick on the way in, and it looks like they're committing. Maybe unaware of how many players are waiting, beckoning them in on the other side. Although they shouldn't. They caught 2 with the Hunter's Fury. They've seen Kushner here, but confident to follow up off that damage. Now they have to go because the spike is down, and as they make their way towards it, wall bangs and jump ups from Kushner. Put an end to this one. Great reaction from BBL. Remember, that was like a 5v2 on site at one point with the closest player up in A heaven. And they managed to get Kushner there in time.
Yeah, I think the other issue as well is normally if you're going to try and disengage, you have 2 options. Well, 3. You could run through their spawn, which is insane. You can go back through your own, which takes a long time. Or you can try and go through the market. Unfortunately, they walled the market, so they couldn't do that anymore. So I think there was a moment where Fnatic maybe considered going back, because actually, we're either going to have to try and run through them, or we won't have time. So it definitely can create some issues of their own. 9-8. There'd be no surprise for me here if BBL were able to turn this on the defense either. Especially if that operator comes into play a little bit later on. We know the defensive side is where it can thrive, and for now, this almost reminds me of like an old school Gambit style, leading Durka to try and find that entry in mid, like almost have him hunting with the rest of the team lurking and waiting for aggression.
Nice opening.
My ult is ready.
Said Durka's been firing on all cylinders. He's cooled down in this round. Big kill for Reezy. 4 ults online for BBL as well. The safety nets multiplying. Fnatic
Listening.
shifting their approach. Sonic sensor on A in case anyone tries to get aggressive. For a moment, until that Sonic sensor was thrown, believed it was going to be an A hit. Seems BBL still have that belief with 3 players stacked up on that side. Perhaps another opportunity for Fnatic to isolate these B players. Reezy playing off-site is going to be a problem. Elite still has his traps on the way in. Hunter's Fury will be online. Reveal will be back up soon as well. Cam's already spotted them. The information is there to play with for BBL. They've put 2 and 2 together. The rotates are underway. 14 seconds, very low on time. And Elite has his cage up, spots one on the way in. Now he's caught crouching, but they still need to push into him. Do a good job of it. 6 seconds as the plant comes in.
This is Fury. A chance to give them something back into the site, but it hasn't happened. Pora, however, has all 3 grouped up together.
Here.
Alpha, I think, has been spotted at the back, so Hero's the only unknown quantity. Trying his best to reposition, make a play, and he's going to get the chance to fight. Wins that first duel, puts it back into a 2v2 scenario, and now they can sit pretty. Now they can try and play the advantage of the time that is ever ticking down. Another for Alpha into the 1 versus 1, and he'll be able to close it as well. A close but no cigar for BBL as Fnatic get to 10.
An ambitious play to dash on him in that situation. I think perfect read by Alpha on the swing. It's got to be another upsetting round. Look at this fight in towards the spawn. Boaster slowing down the rotations, buying that little bit of precious time for these players on site to set up and get that plant through. It's 10-8. Fnatic have just won the round. They've won 3 out of the last 4 times, but they've decided to call a pause, a timeout now, so they can level themselves coming into the home stretch. This is a very big round coming up. I actually love this timing of the timeout because BBL are putting all their credits into it. They haven't got those ultis to fall back on because they used a lot of them in the previous round. And for Fnatic, a win here could well be a 12-8, 4 chances to close it out. It's the best time to get Almaputty's opinions.
I think also just winning a round with such high energy as well. It might just be a leveling out process, making sure players don't get ahead of themselves. Saying that though, to have Hero up the top right alongside Durka, it's definitely been a standout debut for him in a position that must have been difficult. We've heard that the team had days of practice with him rather than what you'd hope for quite a bit more. Obviously, even Shanghai only finished 10 days ago itself. So there can't have been a mass turnaround, but it's definitely looking better than expected. For BBL, hey, this is probably the best opportunity to face off against them, but financially, not in the best spot. Their defensive side, not quite working out in the way they will have hoped, and they may just try and turn that here.
And the Knife's got them a little bit of information on the BBL side. Kushner's on the way to A. There's only one weakness for BBL. Healthy buy,
Sensor up.
excluding the shield.
Ultimate ready.
Oh, sound sensor pulled back. Okay. Only used for the very start to deny them punishing the orb take, I guess. Rotate back around, move to the B site, Annihilation online. Alpha can get some information off the corpse as well. The main thing they need to do is find someone. Drone doesn't see anyone on the way through. And Elite, oh, he's getting very aggressive.
Oh, 40 seconds left. The Fnatic to make their move. 3 players here. Annihilation being used in the setup of the fight has already happened. There's nobody left to annihilate at this point. Every single member dropped, and just Pora and Brave, their positions are known. Still going for this though. Still feeling like they can fight it. Okay, you know what? Pora's managed to make this one a bit more competitive.
Listen, Pora having to retake into what should be a clutch. We've seen it. We've seen it happen many times. Fnatic be trembling a little bit, seeing that that man's still alive. Definitely be happy Kushner, isn't? Suppressing. The knife. Oh, it didn't catch Chronicle. So they don't have the information on main. I think that might be the nail in the coffin. Timing based, of course, but flash out, signals the push, Chronicle. Even waiting an extra second, and then he strikes. Very clean in the post plant from Fnatic. 11-8. No opportunities given away in that last round. And just 2 more to close this out, and take a look at what that has done to the BBL economy once we get back in.
What?
Shredded them.
I think that's been the most surprising thing so far, especially in this second half, is I thought Fnatic would struggle a little bit more with sort of entering into sites. Like not having that second initiator, not having the flashes other than the paranoia. It should, in theory, make things a bit more difficult, but the last few rounds haven't looked like that. I've just watched a man swing with an Odin and get an opening kill. Like, I feel like that shouldn't be happening, no matter how much you want it to, Mitch.
I don't know, that seems like you're not tuned into the next meta.
Oh, okay.
Neon Sliding Odin is coming.
The next meta, we're not there yet.
It's coming. He's just practicing.
On the Sova.
All I'm saying is Hero's going to be the Neon, from what I'm seeing.
Oh, okay.
But no, I think you also saw in how the round went that they weren't expecting that to be the opening pick, because you still had Chronicle lining up the Annihilation.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, once you see him and he runs away, I'll catch him. And the dude was already dead. Well, the ult again kind of fired into the abyss, but it's a very difficult ultimate to get consistent value out of. Even if you do manage to find someone, if there's a lot of them around, they'll break it. You're pulling your teammates into a fight on the back of it. Just really not a huge fan of this kit. But I do think post plant is where those setups are horrendously dangerous, especially for a team like Fnatic. Not with this comp, not on this map, but You imagine, like, well, we've got Bind coming up next, how dangerous their post plants used to be, and then if they get to stun you the second that you step near that spike, it's a whole different game. BBL have pistols for the most part, 4 sheriffs and 1 rifle. No surprise to you or me that that rifle goes into the hands of Kushner. Brave, though, is in trouble. He's able to get out of there, but he can't quite move afterwards. That's the problem. Stuck on the ground. Nice push out of Reezy. Great timing. If he gets that shot on Chronicle, the other player's reloading. And it could have been Chronicle and Boaster out of the round right off rip. Instead, the A players get contact, lose their lives, so B has to push, has to get some information. 2 guys sitting outside B, well, that's good info, but not a lot they can do now in a 2v5. Hero plays needed.
This is seeming like an impossible task. A gamble taken by the side of BBL. Understandable as to why. And Fnatic have just paused. Poising themselves to seemingly go into an empty A site. Have themselves a free round. And for the side of BBL, for Kushner, it might actually have to be a save here. They're just not in a position where they can really afford to throw away this rifle. It's also a scenario where, realistically, do you think that you're going to be able to win this one? Probably not.
Last player standing.
Well, Elite now going down. It's not too much of an issue. He only had a pistol. It's whether or not Fnatic are now going to go on the hunt to try and get rid of this gun.
With finances, they definitely could. 5 versus 1, not like you're going to lose the round either at this point, you would hope. Sets them up nicely if they do drop him, but even still, 4 away from a Blade Storm. He gets a couple of picks and punishes. Maybe the Blades come back out in the next. They'll have 4 chances to close this out. It's a guaranteed 12-8, and look at the blanket from Fnatic. They are moving to the left side. They don't want Kushner to carry this rifle through to the next round. And as we see Kushner's POV, he's got a free kill on Chronicle, but plenty of players there to punish afterwards. There will be no saved rifle for BBL. No player standing strong economically, and the investments, sure. After the last, they'll be able to, remember they played sheriffs, what, 4 sheriffs in this round? They'll be able to buy up. Won't be the end of the world. But they need to be flawless for 4 straight rounds, and with the way things are going so far, it's not looking too likely.
Good job.
This is it now. I'm sad to say I don't think that operator's coming. Unless they start getting a few rounds in a row. Not part of the game plan, but Kushner's still been there. It's some quieter performances elsewhere that seem to have gone amiss. Fnatic, with a new comp, a new player, still looking as devastating as ever. With both these teams on, I believe, identical scorelines, this is an important game for either side, of course. Bind's still up next, but that's always been a good map for Fnatic, so I wouldn't feel overly confident for the side of BBL. Lotus as well, a map that they haven't played the entirety of the year. They took some risks with the veto, there's no doubt about that. And they're going to need to take a few risks here in this round.
Yeah, blanket. 1-1-3 from the side of BBL, stacked up a bit heavier to the A side. Fnatic, look for short control. Spike is moving away from the B side. Human recon sent through from the shadows, reveals 1, possibly 2 on A. Not sure if he will
30 seconds left.
actually seen Brave.
Barrier deployed.
Barrier mesh deep. Stops anybody peeking through that smoke on short. Reezy instantly has to rotate, give up the position, puts pressure on the site players, but Brave thrives under it, finding the first. Now here comes the teleport through, but the corner was not cleared. Kushner able to punish and leave Alpha Year all alone. An ace clutch, 1 versus 5. The first already found, but the lineup too strong from BBL on the B side, or A side, pardon me. 3 rounds in between them, 3 more needed. If they keep that up, it could be theirs.
Yeah, definitely feels like a long way to go. But Fnatic still comfortably able to purchase into this round, and that looking more like a flash in the pan. It's only been the individual rounds won by BBL on this defense side. Even just getting 2 in a row would be the most they've managed to streak in the second half. Kushner saw 26 and 17. He's been having a game.
Oh, this is a nice spot.
I think he'll need a few more if they're going to turn this back. For now, though, Pora. It seems like the gloves are off. He just wants to fight, but it's been that way this whole game. Bare knuckle boxing the entire time.
It's worked a number of times for the BBL squad. Why not carry it forward? A little bit of tempered aggression. We didn't get to see too much of that from Fnatic on the defensive side. For BBL, shift over Elite and Pora on the B site. And Kushner's a little closer to help out.
Here.
As a Blade Storm if needed. He needs to quickly support these players. Hunter's Fury activated. Big trouble brewing with the Annihilation as well, and it's caught one. Pora's on the way, he's flying up in the sky, but Kushner grabs a double while the squad is distracted. This could work out in their favor now. Hero locked out in towards main. Chronicle manages to catch Pora as he emerges from the cocoon. But take a look at the HP there. Shock dart onto Boaster. He's 47. Tagged low. Brave still on site to be dealt with. Reveal, though, allows the wall bang to come through. Boaster finally finished off. Reezy thinking about emerging from this smoke, and it looks like his timing could be next to perfect if he can isolate Chronicle. Instead, he's given away his position. An opportunity for the clutch. He's trapped in a corner, and Chronicle's got him! 13-9 on BBL's map pick. Fnatic have come out swinging. And with Bind up next, things are looking scary for the Turkish fans.
Hey, it's always good when he can clutch the first round and clutch the last one. That's the Chronicle way on his new choice of Deadlock. We'll see what they have in store for us as we'll be going into Bind next.
Nice, хорош! Хорош!
Nice, Kron! Nice round, Kron.
Nice! Nice, Kron!
Good job, Kron. Nice clutch.
I know a place that will break you into 1,000 pieces. Stay away from them. Stay away from Lorca, Paco, and Picasso. Don't ask about Lola. Ay, Caballo Grande. Ay, Dolor de Nieve. But in spite of everything, it occurs to you to visit Andalusia. Don't say I didn't warn you. Be careful of the Andalusian crush.
Hey guys, it's Jimmy Lin. In this series, I'm going to walk you through Attack on Pearl. Watch out for the stairs, clear this angle. You're going to be able to fight this.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Let's do something crazy. Get a bit wild today. Cause we don't do this every day and we deserve it. Life is so amazing. Nothing is in our way. Baby, let's fly away. Do you feel it? Is your heart rushing the way my heart's rushing when you take it all in? Baby, this is where we come alive. Do you feel it? Take the world by storm. Just you and I can't believe it took so long to realize what makes us come alive. Oh. we should. We'll feed the fire. Let's see it through and let go of what's holding us back. Just light it up and we'll burn through the past and take it higher. Is your heart rushing the way my heart's rushing when you take it all in? Baby, this is where we come alive. Do you feel it? Take the world by storm, just you and I. You and I. Can't believe it took so long to realize. This is where we come alive. Do you feel it? Take the world by storm, just you and I. Can't believe it took so long to realize what makes us, makes us, makes us. This is where we come alive. Do you feel it? Take the world by storm, just you and I. Can't believe it took so long to realize what makes us, makes us, makes us. This is where we come alive. Do you feel it? Take the world by storm, just you and I. Can't believe it took so long to realize what makes us, makes us, makes us. This is where we come alive. Do you feel it? Take the world by storm, just you and I. Can't believe it took so long to realize what makes us, makes us, makes us. This is where we come alive. Do you feel it? Take the world by storm, just you and I. Can't believe it took so long to realize what makes us, makes us.
My name is Imran. I'm 18 years old. I'm from the Netherlands, but both my parents are Turkish. The role I play in the game is like a little bit like mixed. I play like initiator, recon as well, like sentinel, and also like duelist. My favorite agent would probably be like the new Neon. I like going in ranked sometimes and just locking in Neon and just like going everywhere, like killing everyone. I mean, like hobbies outside of Valorant would probably be like, I mean, I like playing football a little bit. No, I don't do it like too much, but it's like a little like hobby. One of my like other hobbies would actually be like reading a little bit as well. Joining Fnatic, it felt good obviously. It's a big org. A lot of people like have their favorite team as Fnatic, so joining that team and having like that support is also like really fun. I haven't played with the team for really long yet. The few days we've had to like train has like been pretty good. Everyone's really nice. Like if you make a mistake, like obviously you get told about the mistake, but they won't like be mad at you or anything. So I mean everyone's personalities are like nice and they're like easy to like mesh with. Just very excited to like learn from them and like what their opinions are on like certain things. Alfier is the most excited to play with me, I think, because I'm like a Turkish player as well and like he can talk Turkish with me as well, so it's like equal amount of excitement. My goals for VCT, I mean, would obviously be like to do as good as I can, like help the team win and get the champions. That's probably what my goals would be. I'm probably pretty excited to play against like Vitality and like Carmine Corp. I mean, Vitality, because like, usually when I like practice against them, I do really good against them, so it's like, I think it would be pretty fun to go against them in an official match as well. And then Carmine Corp, because it's like a very important game of ours as well. Obviously, the person I'm like filling in for is like one of the best, so I'll try my best to like be as good as him.
Oh, who would have thought another Turkish wonder kid would improve one of our teams here in VCT EMEA? But of course, you're looking at Chronicle here in the AIM Labs warm-up. What do we think about that deadlock comp, ladies?
I mean, I have my thoughts on the composition. I saw what the intention was. What I did not like is that Kong was dying a lot of times, isolated, people not being able to trade him and actually get the best out of his utility, because it was maybe, even if you don't see it in the first kill, maybe if it was a 5v4 situation, he would go down and I'd be like, man, I really wanted to see it, because when we saw it, it was brilliant the way that it was comboing with the Cypher.
Yeah, it was really nice because you look over towards Deadlock, and I feel like where we haven't seen her used as much and where she's going to really shine going into the new patch as well is being that kind of anti-dive agent with that utility, looking at her traps and whatnot, with how we were seeing just like even on those rounds where we saw like them trying to anti. Oh, such a sweet shot. I love like the energy that they have, like welcoming.
Yeah, it was supposed to earlier, and now Alpha's like.
They've all just turned into dads all of a sudden. Like they're so like helpful and nice towards it. But let's move on to the next map, because we know Hero is flexible. We know he could fill in for Leo, but he's never played Gecko before. So why did they pick Bind, you think?
I mean, there are many things that can be done, but as you're saying, out of all of the agents that he's played, the Sentinels, the Initiators, a whole year as a duelist, he's never tried the Gecko. And especially one of the things that we loved about Fnatic's Bind was that Gecko and the way that Leo used it. Are we expecting something new? I mean, I would like him to go full for it, right? Like, it's your first time here on the stage. Maybe it's your first time. Also, you know, use the Gecko. You're a Fnatic. Try, like, enjoy it.
No, for sure. I mean, we even see it like in these shots with the team, right? Previously, how they're looking to just support him, make him feel as comfortable as possible. But so there is that toss-up where we could maybe see the composition change just for a comfort pick for him. But I think that you also have to look at to see what might be most comfortable with the team with this swap coming in so soon with this split.
Yeah, this is the thing. They do have options still. Oh, Alpha. Alpha is like only 19-year-old himself. Actually, he had his birthday the other day, so happy belated birthday to Alpha, yeah. But there must be a reason as to why they picked this Bind. But in terms of preparation of BBL, there is no way in any scenario they could have prepared for that deadlock stuff. You saw them get caught off guard a few times. Is it wise, you think, for Fnatic to change things up again on Bind so it will catch BBL off guard again?
I mean, think about Fnatic's situation, right? They come back from Shanghai. They invested that time in going there, but they go back home without anything. They come here, they find out that there's more patches, and now Leo's not going to be playing because he's facing issues himself, and now they have to find a replacement, and they need to be ready for everything. I'm actually very surprised that they had the nerve to do what they did on Ascent. It wasn't clean, but hear me out. The first time that Dirk was on Euro, it was not clean. It was right the opposite, and he got so much better. So if Fnatic wants to take down this route of going back to creating new compositions and understanding and developing them themselves, I'm all for it. I don't mind if it's Leo, if it's Heroes, whatever it is.
I think it's really important to like go forward with that innovation, especially with the fact that we've seen a lot of Bind as well. I just love seeing the player cams right now.
Oh, sorry. Alpha's just, I think he's like, come on, mate. Like, just turn it around. Turn it around. Sorry, Ash, as you were saying.
No, I think we do have a lot of tape as far as the previous composition that we saw Fnatic running here as well. So throwing that wrench in could make a really big difference. But again, it is also difficult because they are coming back from Masters and everything like that. They have this new player coming in, but won't be too long until we see.
Well, let's take a look at Agent Select now and see if we will get any changes. And Hero's just going to play the Gecko, but so is Pora.
Yeah. I'm very surprised because we talked a lot about Fnatic expectations, but BBL, after not being able to close that first map, especially with the performance and how electric Kushner was being, they decided to swap things around. And it makes a lot of sense because we have seen this composition before. The Gecko, the Faye, something, you know, that they kind of like in NA. We saw how important it was at Shanghai. There was a lot of tape to watch, but hey, Fnatic was also watching back then, and I think it's become very, very popular.
It definitely has become popular, especially when you're looking towards the fact that this is very different from what BBL were running previously. They had that Sky, they had that Breach. It's a big adjustment, but there's also going to be that opportunity to still set Kushner up there.
And we're talking about Hero first time on Gecko, but it's also Power's first time on Gecko.
It is indeed, and let's jump into game with Tom and Mitch and see what both of these players can do.
Thank you, Yinsu, and our wonderful analyst desk. Yes, Bind is coming up next, and Fnatic took the first map, BBL's pick, 13-9. This is where BBL have to start their reverse sweep, Tom. They definitely showed some signs of life on that first map, so all hope is not lost.
Yeah, I think that we can still see some of the individual brilliance. I think, again, Elite had a quieter performance than what I'm used to. So I think that we'll see a little bit more from him going into this map. And I think they're moving towards a composition that will allow them to be quite explosive, which I think really will work for their team and their setup. So I'm excited to see what they've got. I'm also excited to see what Hero's got, because he was great on the first map. Yeah. I think his Sova util was fantastic. I think his Odin was pretty good. And now he gets to play the Gecko, which I think gives him a little bit more freedom to be aggressive as well.
You know, as much as I would have loved to see a Yoru in the TP with the Odin, I understand why Hero is saving that for a future game.
Yes.
For now, round one. barriers up, and Pistol begins. Fnatic on the attack, and they very much are on the attack. A lot of presence on B, a lot of noise being made, and the rotation's already underway, but there's teleporters on this map, and they've used them to reunite with the teammates that have gone towards A. Alpha here, Hero already tagged, but Alpha's leading the charge, looking to challenge Elite, pushing him back towards the back of the site, but that's where so many more BBL players have come through. The plant is secured, but at the cost of one of Fnatic's lives.
Chronicle down, he clutched the pistol in the last. It's going to be down to somebody else this time, and while with Alpha combining with Hero, there might just be a chance. Brought it back into a 3v3. Alpha's reposition. It's not a bad one, but it's a little bit worrying just because of where Pora is coming from. It leaves him very much isolated, especially with the flash. He's been immediately, I think he just saved his own life with the Dizzy, and then he's going to peek out and get the kill. It's now left all onto Boaster. He bought time with the Molotov, but now he needs to hit the shots. Both players desperately low, but Pora will land that kill as well. Little bro, Dizzy, this time has saved his life.
He's brought his own helmet to the game. That's kind of crazy. Timing was absolutely perfect. Follow-up was perfect. And they even get faked out in the initial fights. So much B control from Fnatic. The TP's taken. The timing is good, though, on that mid-push. And what a good job Elite did slowing them down. There's a reason he walks out with the 2 assists. Ends up slowing that push, buying time for the rotations that come through. And for a player like Pora to have the opportunities to thrive. That's 1-0. Pistol under the belt of the defenders.
Yeah, Dizzy is the MVP of this one. Gonna have to take him to the nurse, get him back for the next fight, because he's fainted.
Toxin screen down.
In unnamed monster game.
I'm just scared of what happens if he evolves. A few more fights like that.
Turns into a shark.
Oh, Pora didn't have his Dizzy to protect him this time. He's taking the brunt of the damage, but Kushner's returning it. The nade is good too. Just look at the damage that's being done to these Fnatic players. TP used again, but this time still 2 players on the A side ready and waiting, and even the rotation on its way from Kushner. The plan wasn't to just blitz out to A. Instead, they take the orb, slow it down.
This is orb farming simulator. Try and get whatever you can to bolster up in that next round. None of the ultimates are particularly close, though. Boaster will be, well, unless he saves, at most 3 orbs away. And if he does, I'll have some serious questions to ask. But for now, it looks like they're going to go walking back into the blender. And the man holding the blender is Elite, who's already made them, or I say them, made Boaster vulnerable. The rest is still sat back.
left.
Boaster's almost just walking into the smoke as a one-man army. Now they'll try and get the spike, maybe earn a few extra credits before the inevitable.
Well, that is quickly put to bed. And Andalucia flawless for BBL. Now sitting 2-0 and a clean streak. For Fnatic, though, this is where the rifles come out and where the real meat of the game sits. For BBL, though, I like this start. They're able to come into the next round with a decent bonus. There's going to be one weakness. The Spectre that you saw will obviously, I mean, all the weapons carried through.
Nice save. Let's go, boys.
And that allows their credits to skyrocket. Fnatic, presume a big part of this attack side will be what we saw in the low buy round, farming up those orbs, moving closer to the orbital strike for Boaster for now. Although early on, both orbs are conceded by this squad. In fact, I think one is already being taken by Reezy. And the B side is, well, very much on lockdown towards long.
Looking like the first point of contact, but that Molotov will be used as a deterrent. Keep them back a little bit more as Durka looks to take that initial fight. Still have the nade and Boombot available if they want to try and slow them down a little bit more, but the same can be said for the opposing side. But this is all bait. Everything is trying to pull them in to fighting up against Kushner, the one man in the last map you didn't want to face against. For Fnatic, though, this is all about just keeping players in place. They do now look to head back into what will be a slightly weaker A site, still with some fairly weak weapons as well.
The snake fight will only slow them a few more seconds. Push is coming out of Fnatic, but the flank is also underway. Kushner extremely close to completing that. Boaster goes back to watch it, but he won't win that fight. Kushner moving in the wrong direction. He wasn't ready for Chronicle's double back. Okay, they keep the control back there. The plant can be attempted, and if they swing, that's where Alpha Air strikes from the side. Brave, though, doubled up on the angle, not expected. Good spray by Durka, bringing it back. Favoring that attacking side, but not for long. Pora's dropped him, leaving it all into Chronicle's hands, and he came close to making the adjustment, but he wasn't quite quick enough. Elite closing the round and putting 3-0 on the board. Great bonus for BBL.
Yeah, big bonus, lads. That's what the name stands for. It was fantastic for them. Honestly, just being able to trade out so effectively, the fast flank as well. I think having a decent read into what Fnatic were doing. A little bit unlucky for Kushida that he walks into Chronicle. But it's just how quick they've been off the trades. Again, you go back to an old school BBL last year, and that's not happening. It's a lot more solo fights, it's a lot more individual brilliance, but they now have that with the team synergy as well to pull off rounds like that. Now it's going to leave Fnatic on a weaker buy. Alpha with his trusty hero Guardian has definitely pulled off miracles in the past, but you'd hope for BBL's sake this isn't where they let that 3-0 lead slip.
Oh, big danger, man's being removed. Alpha Air coming in with a grudge. Quick one tap on the Kushner. Sends those rotations to the A side. Brave's still a little while away, but those smokes come into play. There they are dropping. No chance to follow up though. With the plant secured, you heard the voice line. Hero's got his thrash. Sure, there's a lot of weaknesses for Fnatic. There's one strength, and that is Alpha in this round. His second scalp already claimed. And now those weaknesses, well, the numbers certainly make up for that deficit. Flank underway, being watched though by Durka. He is tucked in, now swinging. The information could be enough, although the timing a little bit risky, a little spooky. But as they go towards the spike, this is where Thrash comes into play.
Yeah, they've got the Molotov, they've got Orbital Strike. That's the thing, Fnatic have so much for this post plant, and I don't even think they're going to need all of it. Boaster's waiting just in case anybody even taps that spike, but it isn't going to be happening. Hero's behind them as well, just to make sure. And the round will go the way of Fnatic. It is going to be a spot that I think they're going to be regretting with what Alpha was able to do with so little.
Absolutely, yeah, they'll really... The only hope for Fnatic there was that Guardian, and for it to find the opening pick, here it is. Oh, nasty. Kushner was just trying to get information. So was Elite. This guy, too
I still can't see it. You've slowed it down, and I can't see what he shot.
Get Jacob back. I need the zoom as well.
I think I need glasses.
Binoculars at that range. Well, 3-1. Good response by Fnatic on the low buy round. They pull out a... Well, I'm a big fan of this Boaster. He's got an outlaw in his hands, looking to take some scalps. It'll be bathroom defense, passive play from him, wrap back around from Alpha to group up and cover fire.
That's the thing as well. You look at the shields. You're talking about 4 players with 25. So that outlaw is going to be filthy. One-shot kill on anybody he faces off against. They can be patient. The thing is that BBL haven't really been too overly aggressive. We've seen a push or two, late flanks, but yeah, they've been a lot more tempered in their aggression, and because of that, Fnatic have to play a lot of these rounds incredibly slow just to make sure they don't give anything up.
Yeah, but what we're seeing out of Pora is what we've seen. Whenever there's presence on one side of the map, they push, or when the clock runs down too far, they push. Now, Pora's got an unbelievable position because the wrap back from Chronicle is going to come through any moment now. If they're not planning a TP strat to link back up with him. But the needle has been threaded. And if someone's watching their back here, I would be
30
shocked.
seconds left.
Fact is, they'll rely on Chronicle to have all that information, and that just opens the door for this absolutely perfect flank. Boaster looking the wrong way. Oh, and he's in heavy traffic. Pora with 2. It's good enough. It's made it doable on what would have been an A-site retake or indeed a crunch on the plant, but instead the spike's gone to B, and it's wide open.
10 seconds left.
I know as well. There was a temptation from BBL to go through the TP, but they don't want to take that risk. Chronicle's going for the one-shot. He's going to try and take someone down and then fall back, but not quite quick enough. And with the showstopper leading the way, they're going to be able to clear quite a bit of ground quite quickly. Fnatic are scrambling to try and get back into post-plant positions. He gets stood on the third as well. They couldn't have stood in better positions for Kushida to put that X at the front of his name.
Wow. complete blind fire. He heard steps running away from elbow. It's about the only piece of information he had to work with, but the dice being rolled, and my goodness, couldn't have went much better. Even finding the last player looking away. This flank from Pora, that's going to sit in the back of Fnatic's mind. I think they'll quickly realize what happened with it being long aggression. That's where the Geckos played. The Chronicle just missed the timing on catching the walk-up. But it's a big gap to see in that attacking side of Fnatic very early on.
It's happened a couple of times now. And this is the thing, like, it's not the most common to run a Sentinel on Bind, so it's something that when playing this map you should be well aware of. There's going to be pushes, there's going to be flanks, but I think BBL have just been excellent at hitting the right timing. Because I said it, the first like 30, 40 seconds of the round, they're not just running it down and then taking that control. It's cleverly done each time.
Well, the best example, I feel, is the round we just saw, because up until now, they've only been doing it when the executes come in. This time, they get ahead of it. Reezy, good to catch Alpha on the walk through. That completely erases the Viper wall that's in play. Just one of the main things you could hope for on a low buy to get up close. Thrash is going to be sent out through the TP on B, and it's found the last player. Durka, not a chance here, unfortunately. He's being stalked. And the kill actually given to Kushner in the end. I love that. Pora just used his ulti. Why not farm up that showstopper?
Given or taken?
I don't know. I feel like he calmed it a bit. Like, no, you take it, you take it. I want to believe it was a friendly gesture. Not some thievery.
Oh, Fnatic are going to be taking themselves a timeout. Now, when we talk about buying for Fnatic, a lot of what they've had success on is that attack. You talk about the wins last season versus Foot. I think it was 7-0 attack, maybe? I think 9 on the attack when they play versus KC. So they've proven that that's where they thrive. Well, the best they can get right now is 7, and it's not looking like a great sign for them. I think the rounds that the round they won as well was off individual brilliance. It was Alpha getting a double entry with a Guardian. So other than that, for BBL, things have looked quite clean. And in what was in the last map, mostly just Kushner having a few good rounds here and there, there's now a lot more. Like Pora's up there, Reezy's back, Elite now 5-2. As I said, I think the last game, I don't know if it was his worst performance, but it's definitely got to be up there. Like Elite doesn't perform badly for the team even when they lose. So
for sure,
the fact that he's now back on the board and looking a lot better, it's a good sign. I guess that's what happens when you go for a pick of a map that you haven't been doing great on. There's going to be something that goes wrong.
Well, in between the maps, I was out speaking with Karahan, one of our Turkish casters here. You might recognize him from doing some of the stage hosting in the Coliseum last year.
Lovely man.
Very lovely man. And he was letting me know that, he said, look, I'm Bind. I really think we can win it, right? The Turkish guys always go with BBL or Foot, of course. He said that in the first map, it seemed like BBL made a lot of mistakes. They lost the game themselves. And Fnatic weren't playing maybe their A game. He said, I'm Bind. Feels like there's a very good chance. And so far, he's got to be feeling pretty good about that prediction.
Yeah.
It's been a clean start. And the big sign for BBL is Kushner last map. He was unbelievable. And he's just not the kind of guy to cool down between series, between maps, just ever.
A highlight that might be there on the other side then is Durka. Because Durka in the last map was unstoppable. He's definitely had a quieter start. Now it's a different role, a different map, a different game altogether, but well, the facts are the facts. Pora, he likes to play a risky game. Just sat, pushed up in the smoke. It looks like he's going to try and go straight through it, but I like the fact that he throws the flash, and when there's a couple of bullets shot, he goes, okay, I like to take a gamble, but those odds aren't great.
Yeah, I mean, if it connected onto someone, so they're
the corner's clear. The corner is clear.
They're checking their back because they got flanked a few rounds ago, just to make sure. So
good to see the adaptations.
Exactly, yeah. You know, bit by bit, conditioning. That's what it's all about.
30 seconds left.
The Fnatic have got 4 ultimates, so no struggle with entering into a site. Once they get there, Viper's Pit will be available. Showstopper for the way through. A site is their target. TP used, but again, Pora is on the flank. He got away with this a few rounds ago. Surely not again. This time, a late play out of Boaster making his way back around, but there's a double flank. Brave is here as well. Boaster's caught him. He hasn't spotted the second player though, but Chronicle trades it out quickly. That round is locked down by Fnatic, unless Reezy has a big clutch up his sleeve. He's already found one, but quickly the final shot is connected. The Fnatic are back on the board.
Yeah, I think you can see Boaster there was more than ready for anybody to try and make that move again. I don't think he necessarily knew the Pora was there, so it definitely could have got a little bit wrong, and especially with how close that was on the timer. I think BBL might be a little bit frustrated though. I think they ended up using the Nightfall. We didn't need a replay of that. Like, you guys are mean.
Oh no, it's not safe. It's not safe. You make that split-second judgment. But did he misplace it? No. No, it was all a bait. 5-2. Viper's Pit already in hand for Elite, and indeed he plans to use it at the very start of the round. That's a lot of control locked down, and with an op on the other side of the map, it funnels Fnatic right in to Pora.
That's the guy who's been flanking you every single round. So to expect him to have an AWP in this one, you'd have to be mad. Especially with Kushner most of the time sticking to a rifle. Already. Solid open up, Durka down. Makes things a lot more difficult on the space taking, which I think has been one of the bigger issues for Fnatic. Like, getting into the sites has been frustrating. When they've had post plants, that's where this team always seems to look good. Rotation to back up the pit as well, and it seems like Fnatic are, again, it's been early pressure towards B, and then a swipe back towards that A site.
The reads here from BBL are perfect. The literal second that the Gecko Flash came into Hookah, rotation. Running to the A side because they realize Fnatic have liked to pressure one side and push the other. Viper's Pit online will get them out on the site even against these numbers, but getting the plant is a different story altogether. Reezy's up close. Kushner becomes the target, but Reezy can strike for one. Now his position is known though. Fighting inside the pit, the spams from all around, too strong. And with Boaster picking up Elite, it seems like this site is on lockdown. You have to fight back through the pit, back through the utility. They still have a mosh pit, they still have a molly, they still have a snake bite. Good luck getting back into this one.
Yeah, operator dropped. Not going to want to try and play through. And there is some of the utility being thrown out. Both are now going to buy even more time. This is where Fnatic, back in the day, the Rat Kings, as they just sat back spamming utility. Boaster's brought it to this team as well. There's nothing you can do. They're going to try and throw in the wingman as a last-ditch effort, but the fact is the round is already over. And I believe that maybe Brave was looking to see if he could find the operator. And in fact, they have.
Economic recovery for BBL, but a recovery in the half for Fnatic now. Putting rounds on the board, gap down to 2. This is a very, very slow start from this squad, and even in this round, the fact that they have a Viper's Pit in play for the A site, pick on B, read was perfect. As I said, I was surprised by how quick it was to see Kushner take contact in Hookah, pull his knife out, and run to A. But that is how readable some of these rotations have been on the side of Fnatic. That fake pressure is not being, they're not falling for the bait.
Right there.
And it looks like we're going to get a very aggressive stance out of Pora, immediately into the angle with the op, and he's out of there, even past the spams.
Yeah, I do want to see how Fnatic deal with this round, because the 2 rounds they've won, a lot of post-plant utility. Like a lot in terms of ultimates as well. A round prior to last, they had the Showstopper, Seekers to take control. That is such a bold peek from Chronicle. Maybe they don't need it.
I mean, you get revealed and your thought process is, I'll swing him. He'll never see this. I mean, he literally does see it coming. But it doesn't matter. A little bit too quick. Fnatic with the advantage. This is where you do expect to see them group up and go together. There's a fight about to go down on A. Oh, just about missed. It was Alfier sneaking his way back. He put his orb up in time to bail, rejoin his team, but that has signaled to BBL that it is going to be a B play. All the presence is towards this side of the map. They conceded A control. So once again, I was going to say once again, BBL have the read, but take a look. Players have started to rotate out just as Thrash comes through.
Still leaves. They've caught 2, and their 3rd player's gone down. There's nobody left to even defend them. That Thrash was absolutely perfect. And this time, Hero will take the kill himself. You couldn't have asked for more than that. Fnatic, after what has been a 5-1 deficit, take a pause, the old Fnatic pause, and it seems to work for them again. Elite scurrying away on the other side of the map.
Saving the weapon is the best he can hope for. There's a lot of economic weakness there after losing a few rounds in a row. Every little is going to help for the next. But Fnatic know that. And with credits still in their back pocket, they're going out to try and hunt it down. Nice shot from Elite to at least secure the first. TP comes through. Player on A site and a player in the other direction. There's no avenue open for him to get out of here. Has to fight his way through. And Chronicle meets him. 5-4. The gap is now down to 1, and after a very slow start on this map, on Fnatic's map pick, they've started to gain the momentum. They've started the course correct, winning those opening duels. Cases before the other team didn't even get their weapon out. Much better luck.
So cursed. Pora just walks out of the smoke and immediately stuck in place. BBL now with a chance to turn it themselves. They got off to a flyer of a start, but I feel like every single ultimate Fnatic has used has been such high impact. Like I'm thinking the Showstopper, the round next, they had themselves the Viper's Pit to just basically get them into the rattiest post-plant of all time. And then in the last round, well, dare I say it, the Thrash was pretty good. It caught 2 players as they tried to rotate back in.
Go around before the Showstopper, Orbital Strike as well.
I think the Showstopper was strike was the same round.
Same round, it could have been, yeah.
But yeah, either way, every single ultimate they've used has been pretty much perfect. I think in that same round they also used the Seekers, but Chronicle's got enough kills to have that back online again. And since then, BBL haven't been able to do too much. As said, Fnatic normally have their stronger sides over on that attack. For BBL again, this is a map that they've definitely had their struggles on. I think the attack has been where more of their struggles have come from, but you have to bear in mind that they've switched composition since then. One with that more aggressive double initiator, so I'd say there's more opportunities for them there. But I thought the same on the last map and was completely wrong, so who knows?
Yeah. That's the beauty of Valorant. Never know until those barriers go up. For BBL, 2 rifles and a few pistols, 1 classic in the hands of Brave. He's the one baiting to try and pull them into Pora's crosshair. Pora's had a fantastic time. In heads-up duels, he's been good. His flanks are unbelievable. 3 times so far, you can point to a round that, if not one, there was a massive disruption because of that man. Alpha had a lot of success on these boxes and taking opening picks, but it's not offered up this time.
Yeah, he needs a
Right
Guardian.
here.
Give him a Guardian and he'll have won that duel. It's also worth pointing out the buy is not the best here for BBL.
Trying to bait them.
It's interesting because Brave has next to no cash. Pora, as you said, I think he's been different darker in most of those opening fights. I'd be interested to see the head-to-head at the beginning, or sorry, at the end of the game. And Pora's still going. He's just looking to take this into his own hands. I feel like the main times he's died is with you two.
Yeah, it actually is. He's down to 45 HP and decides not to commit the Thrash. I think it's the right call. Only 1 more player was spotted there with the spike. The walk up from Fnatic is dangerous. A rifle in the hands of Alpha here, but a second player. Both rifles now have found so much impact. And Fnatic are isolated. Only now grouping up, but 15 seconds left on the clock. The site still to be cleared. The flank underway from Brave as well. There's no hope, and they've realized that. The weapons will be saved through to the next round. At least they'll attempt that. Time is on their side, and they can just tuck into the spawn. I don't think there's any denying it. 6-4. Best they can get now is an equal half. But like you said, Tom, we swap over to BBL's attack. We don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
Previous history, can't really read into that too much.
But in theory, in previous match for both teams, they're going into their weaker half, but it's almost meaningless. New split, a lot of time for BBL to change things up. They've changed comp as well, so again.
It's the comp change mainly. Like you're the same players, you're not the same team going into either half.
Well, 6-4.
Back to me.
Again, looking for those early fights, but Alpha, after what was a successful round a few ago, has not had the same success fighting up against Elite.
Marked 1.
Already getting a little bit of extra information that they're still there, and in fact, Fnatic are just looking to walk this one.
Elite almost had a chance for more. Wait, did have a chance. The shot's not landed. 2 rounds to go. This is where BBL have to decide when they want to commit their ultimate. Still with a Showstopper that's just now making it to the A site. Still with only there. Never mind the ultimates. This man's doing it all himself. 3 under his belt, almost the 4th. Durka tagged. A bullet or 2 landed. The spike tap to draw them into the open. Here comes the Thrash, and Durka can't get away from it. Oh, perfectly done. And with Boaster dropped, the last man standing might meet the knife, but they do him the justice of finishing him with a bullet. 7-4. An 8-round half still possible for BBL, and they won't be upset about that.
The Pora's got him both times, by the way. It's only been Darker, and each time they've looked him in the eyes before they kill him. This was disgusting, though, from Elite. As I said, last map, blip. When this man's on form,
peeking.
There's just nothing you can do about it. And you even see it for a Valve, and they're just like, what was he doing? Like, you don't do that to me. 7-4. Half guaranteed already for BBL. Pora's back on that operator, but I do expect him to have a backup rifle somewhere with how much cash they have. I'm expecting there to be a Dizzy here. Oh no, never mind to try peek. And I don't know how that didn't connect. Maybe it was sponged by the Seeker?
The whole thing? Perhaps there's enough of them there, I suppose. Showstopper burned, and for nothing. That could have been what equalized it. Instead, it's Brave holding onto control of Hookah. Much needed space for this team. But Durka, sitting outside of A, hasn't taken space, but does have the Showstopper. And as they start to rotate over, that's where the impact could be found. And Tom, you've just highlighted it, and I hope it's not going to be another round where these flanks can have huge impact. But yes, Brave has managed to sneak his way down, at least to middle. Are they going to go back again? Why is Chronicle still outside B?
Yeah, that's the thing. I think that's why Brave has stopped, because they haven't gone pushing into the A side. There hasn't really been much presence shown at all. So he's going to wait for either another player to rotate, or in case they go back in the other direction. It does, however, seem like the execution will face this way. Darker looking to try and lead that charge, but
30 seconds left.
He's now being flanked on. Brave has started to make his move.
It's all about time. I mean, if Brave just committed to it from the start, he would already have that kill. Fnatic need to be careful not to let this clock run that much further down. Nice Showstopper landed. Kushner, though, has got the spike on the floor, and the flank from Chronicle. Well, let's look at Chronicle's
He's in Narnia. He's gone through a wardrobe. He's met a lion and a witch. There's just no time. I guess it was more so for the post-plant scenario, but instead he's so ridiculously far away that the round's going to end with no problems at all for BBL. 8-4. It definitely seemed like Fnatic came back into it, but again, I actually think both teams had massively successful pauses.
I would agree. I was just waiting to see the alt chat pop up with a nice save, but no one did that to him.
I'm pretty sure we have that turned off.
That's a significant pullback from the mental warfare I expect to see, but maybe it is in there. The admins will let us know. 8-4, 4-round gap.
Oh, no, that might have been it.
That could be it. That could be it. Yo, guys, watch out. He's got a rifle. He saved it. Oh, pistols across the board. It is the pistol round of half number 2, and Fnatic are coming in with a 4-round deficit. Remember, BBL did win the pistol, and it would be a different look to this scoreboard if Fnatic picked it up. But, well, we could go all day on ifs. The reality is, this pistol, well, if you're a Fnatic fan, let's hope they pick it up.
A 4-man stack of the A site. Boaster left as a lone defender. I'll tell you now, if BBL knew that, they would be going in the other direction.
Toxin screen down.
Instead, they're walking straight into the Lion's Den. The one found in the last round. It doesn't matter, though. Oh. Elite is definitely back. He's gone very quickly. Dirk is still here. He might be able to turn this. Takes the head off of Reezy. Puts this back in to a 2 versus 2.
That kill also, Tom, got Dirk's nade back online. Molly for Boaster, and Brave has 2 health. If that nade even so much as flies past him, he's dead. But Boaster's going to have the challenge first, and there's the shot. Only the 1 bullet needed, and it lands right away. Kushner, though, not one to let these rounds slip out of his hands without a serious fight. They're now approaching the spike. He's waiting. Nade in hand to buy himself the time. There it goes. And they don't even get it half because of it. Good idea where he is, but taking the challenge is a different thing entirely. Satchel, and the peak! It's beautiful from Kushner! 9 on the board for BBL with a Red Bull clutch!
He's so good. He's so good today. It's been enjoyable to see him in all of these scenarios where it looks like it should be tough, and he makes it look so effortless. Like the nade just to buy him time, the blast pack almost used as bait, and you can zoom that in as much as you like. I'm still not going to believe how clean he makes those shots.
Bang, bang. Also, there's no reset. He's just firing, and everything hits. Thank you again, Jacob, for that zoom. I still remember the day we debuted that for the first time, Tom. I got chills. 9-4. Pistol round for BBL. Like I said, if you're a Fnatic fan, you wanted to see them pick it up. But you probably wanted to see them pick up every round, I guess, if you're a Fnatic fan. But point is, this is a very big uphill battle, a steep ascent to take bind. And this round is not where they're going to do it. They have, well, normally, they have classics. Already losing the first, Boaster on half health, a flank underway, but look how wise BBL were to it just 1 second ago. It's being spotted again by Brave. He's lost his head for it.
One bullet.
It's only a pistol that's being dropped. Second kill onto Elite gets a little bit worrisome, but the HP is low.
They kind of got them trapped, but unfortunately don't really have the weapons to do it. This man's classic seems to work differently to mine, but thankfully, in the end, BBL will be able to close it out. Still losing a couple of players. And I will say, I disagree with one thing that you said that round, and that is that Fnatic fans want their team to win every round. Because I believe that the Fnatic fans are the ones that they enjoy the struggle a little bit. You wouldn't be a Fnatic fan if you didn't enjoy pain just a little bit.
I guess if Fnatic were winning dominantly, Devard would just fall asleep. Like, you need that heart
rate. What about
rate.
all those like skeleton memes he has and all the like he saved so many.
I don't think he has anything for dominant wins. There's no need.
No.
Why bother? Why bother prepping it?
It'd be a waste of time. Well, we may have a separate guy hired for that, and he's asleep.
Yeah, he's been struggling these days. But for Fnatic, being pushed on immediately, this is a rifle round, not when you want to see them concede this much space in, but when the fights come down, they win the first. Good nade to land it. Hero wrapping back, I thought, to fight back site alongside Boaster, but they're pumping the brakes on this defensive side with the advantage. They'll keep control by spamming through these smokes and just stopping BBL from getting the spike on the ground.
Well, as well, just look, there's still 2 players over onto the B side, so Fnatic are fully prepared if they're to go through the TP or try and take a rotation. Also, it seems like BBL are checking their flanks quite heavily. I guess if you're continuously flanking an opponent, you're aware of the flanks. They're actually going to go wrapping all the way back around to the showers. Now, there'll start to be a little bit of doubt in Fnatic's mind as to whether or not they're even going in this direction. Now, they've still got 2 players there, but eventually they're going to have to go looking. Come on. Boaster finds the kill.
Yeah, the wingman spots him
30
out.
seconds left.
BBL now left down to just a bathroom push, and they've been seen. Durka in the corner, and it causes a big distraction. In fact, their eyes are so drawn towards Lamps that there was no chance. A quick double spray down, and the confidence to swing in for his 4th of the round. Durka's back online. Fnatic are back on the board, 10-5. But this was a round that we expect to see them win, and they manage it. Oh, I didn't even realize it was as he was running in. Mosh pit on the floor, Viper orb up as well. But with Durka's wind in the sails, he's got a showstopper to work with.
Yeah, that's it. He had a quieter start to this game, but has definitely looked to get himself right back up the board. Still though, 5 rounds the difference. We've seen crazy comebacks from Fnatic in the past on this map, but that's it. A lot of the expectations come on their attack side. That's where they've been better, so I'm intrigued to see if they can pull it off on the defense. Chronicle already under pressure in a position. Wow, that gives me flashbacks. Never forget that moment versus Crew.
It was a little bit of a surprise to me, I'll say, Tom. Like one of the first big plays, I was counting them out from the start.
Destroyed.
I made that a habit over the years. A 5-round gap. I've learned not to count Fnatic out of any game, as their fans have. And BBL know that too. Yeah, Crash to work with. Slow, very slow approach to this attack. 50 seconds, Tom, and they're still in defaults, only now starting to shift towards that B side.
The funny thing is, if this was Gambit, them having 5 rounds on the defense would be perfect. Go, they'd be done.
Run away with it.
They're going to win on the defense, if anything. Cushion, though, patient, waiting for both players. He's going to hit both shots. He has not been missing today. And now leading the way will be Thrash to just clear out all the remaining ground. The rest of Fnatic are full sprint, trying to make their way back in to try and contest this one. It will have to be a risk. The flash is solid, but it's only going to be the 1-for-1 trade. Make that a 1-for-2 trade as Elite takes down Durka as well. Hero.
Spike planted.
And a 1v4. It would definitely be the most impressed I've been today, but they already know where he is.
Still gunning for you.
And they have a Thrash. Thankfully, it only catches Durka.
Good,
Yeah, Hero safe from it, but not safe in the round. 36 HP, 1v3, time against him. He's made the realization it's not a round he's likely to win. Getting out of there to carry this through to the next round. At least that rifle won't have to be reinvested with Chronicle low on credits. Could be a godsend. For BBL, 11-5. The gap is 6. Only 2 needed to close it out, and they certainly have the momentum in their favor. Much better face here on Fnatic's pick than what we saw over on Ascent. And even still, 13-9 against a comp you're not used to playing against, and a couple of mistakes made that cost them key rounds. This could be their series in another world.
11-5. Purchasing here is definitely not going to be easy for the side of Fnatic. Looks like Chronicle might have to take the hit. We'll see if they can juggle something around from Hero. It's going to be a Guardian, which, you know, Chronicle might not be too much of a detriment. They also have a Showstopper, but so does the attack. And I'll be honest, I know which one I'm betting on, based on the way that this map has gone. An early rotation coming from Dirk. It's clear he's trying to put himself in a spot to fight this one. And with the information of where his counterpart currently sits, he might look to challenge.
Oh! Chronicle's 18 HP because of that spam. It doesn't get much better than that without even seeing them. Still not Showstopper prime inside of Hookah. And the rest of BBL shifting their way towards this side of the map. Gravitating in, Showstopper lands, and it's Durka for 2. The double to put Fnatic ahead. And BBL quickly turned tail. They were getting ready, they were amping up for the execution. And I think it would have been the Showstopper leading the way. Now, I'm not so sure.
Well, depends on what they can find. The lead is going to be spammed out. Dirk is having one hell of a round. There's a couple of low players, but again, this is untapped damage. And well, speaking of taps, Dirk is hitting everything. One man stands in his way, and Dirk will take over this round. 6 for Fnatic, 5 for Durka.
A big round. Like you said, he was slower to start here on Vine, but the Showstopper landing helped him out. The rest of the round, though, a little bit ridiculous. Taking all of these fights, catching Kushner off guard, not allowing Reezy to retreat.
Good job, bro.
Gap down to 5. Some weaknesses for BBL, but they did, with the death of Elite, get a Viper's Pit. They didn't use their Showstopper last round either, and they only need 2 rounds. This could be the one where they dump in their ultis to take control.
Yeah, that's the thing. If Fnatic can survive this one, it almost sets the path for them to get towards 8. And then the difference really doesn't seem that far, but that's a lot easier said than done, as you said. A couple of ults. Brave almost has his as well. They've been so good at finding these entries. They can't rely on Durka to just close everything out with a Showstopper, and already looking like they might pick up the pace a bit here.
It's clean. Yeah, he might have been hit by the dog, but the blast pack already landed, sent him flying. Elite is dropped in the chaos. The TP from Boaster working well, giving them an angle to fight back from, and they've done that in elbow as well. Double peak. Alpha and Hero both with frags under their belt. But it's Pora and Kushner, the 2 players who have pulled out these massive rounds on the previous map and here. Pora off to a good start. Flash catches nothing. Kushner spotted in the corner, trying to isolate a duel. Blast packs, everything being thrown at him. It's all Pora. 8, 7 bullets, in fact, and it's a right click from Hero to close the round for Fnatic. 7 on the board now. They will slowly creep their way up.
Again, I think Boaster's positioning there is everything. You can see how much of a troublesome position that it left Kushner in as his teammates go down towards the elbow. And well, the swings coming out from Hero alongside Alpha put this round to bed.
Nice!
It leaves the finances of
Good job,
BBL
bro.
in the
Nice,
bin.
Hero.
Just going to leave them with pistols. Sure, they've still got a Viper's Pit, and it seems like they're actually going to give a Hero rifle over to Kushner. I can understand it, having the faith in him to pull off a round like this, but it does leave Pora with some pretty awkward finances for the next round.
A gamble that's worth taking this time. I would be surprised if it's Pora that ends up with the weakness. I'd say he'll be dropped and someone else will be slumming it out, but 4-round gap, big ults online. Viper's pick could turn the tide in a round like this. One pick, and BBL will be spurring forward. The A site's definitely where their targets are set. Waiting for the aggression of Fnatic, watching for the flanks, no surprise. The orb is taken and BBL shift direction.
Yeah, double stack up in towards Hookah for Fnatic. It leaves long open, but if they can hold on to that control, especially with the ultimates they have for a retake, it would make things impossible for BBL. Like, there'd be no way they can take this round home. The snakebite expended. Oh, try and slow them down. I think Chronicle may have been heard there, although Brave hasn't reacted just yet. Oh, that is a misclick and a half. There's no way that was part of the plan. It doesn't matter though, because Alpha's just popped off. What is that third kill? And what I said about holding on to hookah control, Alpha's done that.
Oh, what? One away from the ace. Alphayear's hunting him down, and there's the swing. What a round from Alphayear. Put that one in the books. I thought it was done when Chronicle gets dropped. Alpha's isolated. They use the TP play, and that was gorgeous. But the fact that he spins on a dime to get the third kill, wallbang someone as well. Whoa, that is a once-in-a-lifetime round from this man.
Maybe a few times in a lifetime. It's Alphayear. It's Alphayear.
He's doing it against Kushner. When Kushner has you with your back turned,
if you didn't make
and you have to kill a teammate before killing him. Wow.
Do you want to know the craziest thing?
Good bait for
so
me.
they have 4 rounds of the defense. 50% of them are aces. That's just absurd. Fnatic right now are in full bullshit mode. That's the only way that I feel like BBL will lose this game, is if you're just going to have rounds like that. There's nothing you can do about it. And what Durka, he doesn't like the fact that someone's matched him on aces. He's looking to try and take this round into his own hands. Poster, he's got to be careful. I think he's dead. Yep. Just caught out by the Viper screen. It's brought this back into contention, but you've got to be feeling nervous if you're BBL.
There.
Without a doubt. 3-round gap even now, just a one-man advantage, but Thrash and Viper's Pit to work with. Viper's Pit not quite in position just yet, and in fact, okay, there it is. I thought for a second they were going to go into lamps, but Elite has used it on site. This is the best play. Blocking off that retake angle. It does leave lamps open a little bit. Would have liked to see it slightly more passive. Thrash, big danger. Traded out. Caught one up close. I'm not sure if Gecko was seized as well. It looks like Hero was. That's a big detain, slowing down Fnatic on the way back through and isolating duels in the meantime. With Alphayear down, the numbers start to thin. Big swing on the backside to take down Brave, and Durka manages it. Now it's all on Pora. Another big clutch needed, and the defuse already underway. He's swinging, but not quite in time. It's already done. 9 for Fnatic, 17 HP for Pora. He's tucked in, being hunted down, but he will not be dropped. The weapon is carried forward, as are Fnatic's chances, as now we're down to a gap of 2.
Did that sign say buff ISO?
ISO more. I'm too weak.
No.
Just don't do it.
Luckily, we're in a patch where he's useless, so I guess more than what is here now, sure. More than what's coming soon.
Maybe no. Maybe no.
The comeback continues. It doesn't matter the sign, the day, even the players. Fnatic are still always deadly in the comeback. 2 aces to their name already, and Pora on the edge. Wow. That might be a little bit too ambitious.
I mean, he's been inside smokes a lot. We've seen him use his Dizzy to try to scout out players. But right here, Tom, that's one of the more aggressive spots I've seen him in. And at 11-9 on a bye round, that is a big risk to take.
You do that when you got like a Frenzy or a Sheriff, I'm like, okay, I see what you're doing. But when you're one of the initiators, someone who's been high impact as well in the late round, the player who's normally planting the spike, maybe not the right idea. And with 45 seconds, they're still shut out by the pit, and you can see that Fnatic going, okay, we got the pit. We've got Boaster to defend and delay. This means we can 3-man stack up over on this B site. That's where they're going to be pushing.
They're walking right into it. Hero has a chance. He's
left.
seen the barrel. Oh, but Brave's a bit too quick. Nice shot. Now making their way towards the site. Chronicle in a bit of danger. There's a showstopper on its way. Oh, it's on Durka catching Kushner. Was that in the air? I don't think it even landed on the floor behind. 3 versus 3. Shot on Boaster. Puts the numbers in BBL's favor. They need to plant. They need to get this in now. Spam actually lands. 34 HP on Reezy. Barely holding on, but he gets the plant through. Durka caught up close as well. They know where both these players are, and they've taken them down just in time. BBL guarantee themselves an overtime on Bind and have 3 chances to take it all the way to Lotus.
Yeah, I'd like to see it go there. I'd like to see BBL play that map for the first time this year. It's not somewhere they've been willing to go, and it's somewhere Fnatic have maybe played more than anyone. They've got an absurd amount of reps on that map. That kill from Brave, though, was the big one. Just being able to... Yeah, it was mid-air. Oh. Normally you expect that fight. It's an anime Jet fight. No, not Jet this time. But a big round from Reezy as well. The piece of the puzzle still there for BBL. But now, it's what Fnatic have in response. Have the hero plays run out. No pun intended.
Face your fear!
Already. Oh, a couple of them trapped. There's a good molly to actually shot them in while they're hit by the Nightfall. Escaping that will cost some damage, but it doesn't seem to matter. They're winning all the fights.
Yeah, a sneaky play from Boaster inside the orb. Uses the decay and the lack of vision to drop a player. Dog went past. I'm not sure that it saw Brave. I don't know if they turned just in time to catch that bit of information. But either way, Chronicle won't be rotating, nor will Alpha. They stay in position in case the TP is used, but now it's clear it won't be. Plan secured. BBL 3 versus 4, trying to isolate one on Chronicle. They heard the TP, but they're not able to drop him. Another angle opened up, and Fnatic about to swing this a little ahead of the pack as Boaster. In fact, 1 by 1 they swing, but they win their duels in the end. 12 to 10. One of those 3 chances that BBL won't be able to convert. 2 more to go.
Yeah, they're still not in a bad spot to invest back into this round, but the pressure has to be there. Especially versus a team like Fnatic more than anyone else, because they've been here so many times before. With 5 of the last 6 rounds going in their favor. You have to bear in mind, this was a, what, 11-5, 10-4 scoreline. This was looking all but done, and now the difference is down to just 2.
Whoops.
Exactly the time you want to be doing that.
Yeah, that's one less blast pack for Kushner, thanks to presumably a misclick. Won't be able to make the same space in this round.
Also, just look at the buy. A couple of Sheriffs. We've seen them do more with less, don't get me wrong, but Boaster now on an operator. That's only been said a couple of times.
I do really like the idea from BBL. Yeah, they are ecoing, playing for the next round, keeping the credits over. Maybe they farm some ults here as well. Good opportunity, but it's a round that they don't expect to win coming in. Still, they've won plenty of those before, and dropping Dirk is a great start. Another weapon to potentially be retrieved. Brave still inside those smokes. Headshot angle on the Kushner. Never one you really want to take up against that man. Is he through? Nice kill by Hero. Avoids the bullet of Kushner X. Chronicle's flank here. They're very much aware of it on BBL. And he will just rotate back around the middle. 2 players spotted inside of Bath. Good information for the side of Fnatic to play with. They found the last man. They've dropped him 2. Now all eyes on Bath. And Reezy on his way through only gets the 1. 12 to 11. That was a weak buy from BBL though, Tom, and they made it look pretty good even with those weaknesses.
Oh, they may not matter though. It's got to be the thought in your head at this stage. We've had our chances, plenty of them. Clutch rounds, ace rounds, you name it, Fnatic have had it. Nice! Doing it on the defensive side, where again, historically not been their best, mainly because they were incredible at the attack.
No charges left.
Not so much today. But just because you beat Fnatic on one half doesn't mean you're going to beat them in the next. Showstopper online, a couple of ults available for Fnatic as well, but it all comes down to this to close it for BBL and take us to 3.
Well, that big round out of Boaster. I think it was 3 kills and the death. 4 orbs he managed to pick up, and that's exactly what he needed. Orbital Strike came online just as he died. Now it's available for them as they make their way through. BBL, showstopper in hand, looking for victims. Fnatic have fallen way back, content to play the retake, but they've lost Alpha here. Previously, when this site's taken, they always have control over Hookah, but now a much more two-dimensional approach. In goes Thrash and catches one. Orbital Strike used by BBL, and it's caught Hero. He was stuck in the mud. And now Fnatic with a huge disadvantage. They fought all the way back to 12-11, but it looks like a stop will be put to them here. BBL have done it, 13-11. They bought a map 3 in this series.
It looks like we were going to go there for quite a while, but as always, Fnatic bleed but don't fall for a long, long time. Luckily, we're going to be going to that third map, and I think it's going to be an enjoyable one. Join us on Lotus.
I know a place that will break you into 1,000 pieces. Stay away from them. Stay away from Lorca, Paco, and Picasso. Don't ask about Lola. Ay, Caballo Grande. Ay, Dolor de Nieve. But in spite of everything, it occurs to you to visit Andalusia. Don't say I didn't warn you. Be careful of the Andalusian crush.
Hey guys, it's Jimmy Lin. In this series, I'm going to walk you through Attack on Pearl. Watch out for the stairs, clear this angle. You're going to be able to fight this.
Red Bull gives you wings.
I feel like a champion. A champion. Ain't nothing that can't be done. Oh yeah. I put it all on the line. Definition of divine.
Yeah, I feel like a champion. Ain't nothing that can't be done. They told me I wouldn't be nothing. Came on now, second to none. I need me a trophy, I need me a ring. I'm not with the bull, but keep it a beam. You know what it is, you know what I mean? Shit, all I do is win, 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 win. Haters wanna hate, they ain't made top 10. Double, triple team, what they need to defend. I juke left and I'm gone with the win. I'm gone with it.
I feel like a champion. A champion. Ain't nothing that can't be done. Oh yeah. I put it all on the line. Definition of divine. I feel like a champion. A champion. Ain't nothing that can't be done. Oh yeah. I put it all on the line. Definition of divine.
Feel like a champ, MVP status. Yeah, the win been guaranteed. So let's see about it. If you gon' speak about it, then be about it. If you don't bring that energy, no, I can't be around it. Nah, I'ma shoot my shot. I'ma stick it, watch. At the tippy top, I cannot take no loss. 2 seconds on the clock, they gotta give me the rock. I got a game on wet, yeah. I got a game on live.
I feel like a champion. A champion. Ain't nothing that can't be done. Oh yeah. I put it all on the line. Definition of divine. I feel like a champion. A champion. Ain't nothing that can't be done. Oh yeah. I put it all on the line. Definition of divine.
It was a tough challenge on Bind, but BBL, they secure a map in the series, which means we're guaranteed to go to map 3. I'm your hosting, so I'm back here once again with Kakuka and Ash. After the first half, honestly, I thought it's going to be easy peasy all for BBL, but as Tom and Mitch put it, Ash, we can never really put Fnatic out of the fight in a comeback situation.
Especially not on Bind, apparently, because you're looking at the fact that for BBL, they managed to secure their bonus round in that first half. And they had a lot of success with the space taking that they were finding. But once we got into that second half, Fnatic looked very comfortable on defense. And it was honestly all Durka up there as well. Their entire team obviously had a hand in that. But on defense, Durka went 17-9 on that half alone. Had so much impact just being able to hold down a lot of those sites and just specific choke points, especially that Showers control towards A.
One more round, and we would have gone to that OT. And things were getting very clear, especially because Fnatic was understanding. Yeah, it took them some time to understand how to work around it, because BBL's read on the map were so good, especially on the defense that we're talking about. The moment that they were to find any kind of space, they will put the pressure time and time again. And it was only a matter of time until Fnatic actually learned how to adapt onto that. But the name, it has to be Power. Like time after time, he was finding so much success. We talk about how good IGLs we have in the region, but Power today is on a whole different level. Not only because of what he did here today, finding all the space and putting all that pressure from behind, also what he did on the first map.
Yeah, I mean, he's shooting back, and he was able to thread the needle several times here. Even how audacious he can be with his utility usage. Those areas where he's not even necessarily covered, but he feels so confident in just throwing that thrash out there, just throwing it down and guaranteeing that his team's going to be able to follow up on the other side of the map. And it was tough for the side of Fnatic because they did have the idea to send off one player on the other side. Usually it was Chronicle over towards Belong, but unfortunately the timings just weren't there. They found that Belong control, but they just push out a hookah instead for BBL.
Yeah, and we're looking at the head-to-head here between the two Geckos, 2 first times for each and one of them. And Power definitely came out on top, as we're saying, not only the fact that he's IGLing, but individually he was just brilliant. On the other side, I think that we need to acknowledge the fact that it's the first time the hero is here on the stage playing with Fnatic, and we also need to think of it's Boaster's time again.
Here we go. Oh, it's so sweet. I mean, you could tell that
I want
it's
to see
his
Kron
first
doing
time.
this as well.
He's unfortunately too far away, I think, from Hero to be able to do this. But this is the thing. Fnatic, they made it super close on Bind with a stand-in, with the substitute. Like you guys said, Hero has never played Gecko before. But as we move on to Lotus, Hero has to do what Leo does normally and play another agent in this series and be even more flexible as well.
Yeah, exactly. And we're talking about the map that BBL has not played in the entire year. They've been either banning it or dodging it, depending on their opponent. So this has to be a complete adaptation on the go, on the run. And when we think about Hero, the pressure that he is under, also, it is very different when we think about the Gecko head-to-head, for example, because Power was willingly put in that position and has all this time to prepare for it. And God knows for how long Hero has known that he had to play that Gecko on that map.
Yeah, but then again, when we're looking over towards Lotus, you're considering the fact that, okay, if he's going to continue on this trend of slotting into what Leo has been playing consistently, it will be that Fade pick, which is an agent that he does have that experience on. So
very little though.
Very
Almost
little.
nothing.
Very
Yeah,
little.
yeah.
So it is still a lot of pressure to step up, but at least you're not going in completely blind in that kind of sense. But then that's also the fact that Fnatic, they have a lot of tape on them. They've shown a lot of their hand here on Lotus as well. It's been a lot of OTs for this team. So BBL also have a lot of opportunities to try and counter strat.
I mean, you can see that BBL on Bind, they just took the best comp, right? The comp that everybody else was having success on. Do they take this Fnatic comp here? Because that's still currently the best comp.
Yeah, exactly. And think about the following. Next week, things are going to change. Do not forget, BBL is playing twice this week. So I assume that they have a plan for both of these scenarios, but I don't think it will be crazy for the first time that they're playing this map to run in the Neo, to see how Kushner is going to feel, if it's something that he wants to keep exploring.
But I do wonder if instead of actually leaning into that, it might be this case of, okay, let's save that for when the changes are actually happening. Keep that as a little card in their back pocket, and maybe, like you were saying, Sue, it just lean into the composition that has been so successful here on Lotus when you're looking towards Fnatic, when you're looking towards Karma and Korra as well. There's a lot of opportunities to try and keep some of those secrets tucked away. It's still just week 1.
But this is the thing though, Fnatic, they've despite not getting a win at Shanghai, they had opportunities. They took a map off of Genji as well, but it was map 3 where things fall apart. It was kind of in the final moments that they weren't able to get their things, their stuff together, let's put it that way. So BBL have a very, very good opportunity to get a win in week 1.
Yeah, exactly. And they had all the extra time to prepare. I'm really looking forward to see what they decide to go for. And,
of course.
Yeah. Breach, Fade, solo controller, no Viper for them. They are going to keep the Cypher going, and Kushner is going to have a hell of a dive here.
He definitely is, and more opportunities to be set up there from his team when you're looking towards Kara and Reezy, which I think is such a big part of BBL's playstyle as well, with how explosive they have to be. You want multiple opportunities, multiple people who are able to actually support him on those ends.
Yeah, and think about this. BBL has all the tape. They also decided to start on the defense here. We talked about how Fnatic were going down and there was no trade possible. That needs to change in this map.
Well, a lot of comfort picks here on the side of BBL. It's going to be the first time we see their Lotus in a hot minute. Mitch and Tom, speaking of hot minute, over to you guys.
Twice.
Again, I'm still not sure what it means, Tom, and I'm not sure I want to.
I would like a full explanation of what that could possibly mean and why Sue's giggling about it.
Yeah, let's have that when we toss it back over. For now, though, Tom, let's take a look at Lotus, because, yeah, it is going to be a little bit of a surprise for the side of Fnatic in terms of what they're up against. And look, coming off the back of a loss on their map, close as it may have been, I think the momentum's in BBL's favor. I'm excited for what they can bring out on Lotus.
Yeah, I'm excited and nervous because I think that going into a map you haven't played versus a team who have played it, I think, 8 times since the last split, it puts a very different game. And the thing is, Fnatic have had losses, but they've always been close and they've always been to, well, Foot or Heretics, which if those are the teams you're losing to, those are completely acceptable losses. Everyone else has not had the same success. So I think, especially with them starting on that attack side, where we've seen them thrive for basically a couple of years now, I do think that this is going to be a tough one for BBL to break down, and they have to have a clear plan, which it seems like they do.
Early on, BBL, they've pushed up and taken some rubble control. They've spotted no players there, but Fnatic will be the one signaling where the push is finally coming in. See, trap about to break, and in they go. Smoke for the right side, and pressure will push Elite back. He's made the right call. The setup here was very much relying around punishing an A or B aggression and playing the retake on C. Gives Fnatic time to plant that spike, disrupted a little bit. And is there going to be a push in as they attempt to spike plant the next time? Yes, there is, and it's perfect by Kushner. Great result onto Hero.
Yeah, left him out to dry a little bit. Seemed like they didn't expect the full swing. Durka is completely blinded at the back, and Boaster is trying to block. Everything now cleared out. They know that there's either a wraparound coming or they're all sat towards the mound, and although the spams are doing damage, they haven't got the kill. In fact, all the kills are going back in the other direction. Durka has to fight versus the full force of his opponents, and it isn't going to be happening. Kushner, even on low HP, comes out with 4 kills in the pistol round, and yeah, He's going to go defuse as well. He really is picking up those orbs.
Oh yeah, that he is. 3 away from a showstopper already. Coming into the next where Fnatic will presumably be eco. Not a bad start to the map. Remember, I said momentum off that previous map, BBL. They know, they made a couple mistakes in the first map. Second was a lot cleaner. Even though Fnatic did creep up a little bit and start to make that return to form, they've now started off Lotus with a round on the board, presumably a second. This is the face I'm looking forward to seeing. And let's see if Kushner can pick up a few more orbs here and make that third round a big danger for Fnatic.
I think it would be utterly crazy if they came into a series, played 3 maps that they didn't win last split and win it. Like, because they played Bind, but they didn't have the results last split. They had a win versus Na'Vi. I think it was first week of the whole season, the whole thing, like a kickoff. Now they've been improving. I don't think anybody can question that, but this map being in the series at all, I think would be a surprise for anyone. For now, though, it seems like Fnatic are exploiting the gap that has been left on this side. Elite, he's going to get a couple, but he does go down.
Oh, that's a big seize. At least I thought so. Hero not able to follow up, but Chronicle at least grabs one. They are making it costly. Now down to a 2v2 and the HP very low. It should be one that BBL can still close out, but there is a clutch opportunity for Boaster. 39 HP, Paranoia, smoke soon, and a plant, no, not on B. A full rotation around to the A site. It's not an easy decision to make as to where he decides the post plant should be. Perhaps somewhere he can use the Paranoia.
I like this though, he taps it on B. Now they have to check everything just in case he's still here somewhere, and then goes full sprinting. Buys an extra few seconds. He's just trying to play with the emotions of his opponents as he gets close to the smoke. They've heard that door spin, so they're expecting him to be over in that corner somewhere. Instead, he's going to reposition all the way to the back of site. I don't think this is a spot you'd clear in a million years. And they're watching, and as he hears the steps, they're wrapping back around. Now he's still low on HP, but he gets that first kill. Reezy gone. Paranoia will be straight onto Brave, but it doesn't quite connect. He's going to be able to close out the round, but for what was that wasn't even a pistol or anything. That was all rifles and SMGs. They lose basically everything.
I started to bring up cost at one point because I didn't think they had a chance at closing this round, but Boaster, what an attempt. The misdirection with the door open, the reposition after the Paranoia, pixels away from connecting. He expected it to be a deeper push, that that player would tap the spike and try to wrap around on him a bit more aggressively. If it goes in the other direction, just a bit to the right, I've no doubt that round is won. 2-0 though for BBL. Look at that follow-up. All of their other bonuses.
Who lost the last round?
Yeah, their bonuses have been clean every single time they've come in with lots of rifles, bulldogs, pistols. Now though, 1 rifle and 4 pistols to back it up. A technical pause called and a moment for BBL to sit and stew in the round that's about to unfold. But as I've said, and as we've seen, just because there's a few pistols in the hands of BBL, it doesn't mean that you can count the round out. Hell, we just saw that for Fnatic.
Yeah, I think even more so, it's the fact that Kushner has a rifle that actually is more intriguing, because this man has taken over rounds. Well, he got 4 kills in a pistol round. You don't even have to have a crazy long memory to know how many rounds he's been over to take over, and in both maps he's had unbelievable statistics, even in the map that they lost. So I think it'd be silly to imagine that he's going to slow down. Then you put the Sheriff in Elite's hands, Pora's hands, Brave, Reezy, any of them. They're all able to step up when it matters. So Fnatic are going to have to be careful about this one, even though it's definitely one of the weaker bonuses we've seen. And as said, for Fnatic, we've always had faith or had confidence in the attack side of this map. So if BBL can get off to a good start, as said, their composition does seem like it has a lot of delay, a lot of opportunities for site anchors. Damn, is that a new sign? I've not seen it before.
Well, I see the red disappear from the stage, and I'll see the barriers disappear from the map as we're about to get off into round number 3. And it's a quick fight that Kushner's going to have in his hands. TP out from Brave, an aggressive spot that Boaster doesn't see coming, and it's the Ghost picking up the first 2. The pistols are doing damage. The rifle comes out. The showstopper fired, and Dirk is right into it. Alpha, the last man standing, and he'll be shut down. What a response from BBL. They lost a lot of players in the last round, but you'd be forgiven for forgetting that.
Show me that showstopper again. he fully predicted where he was going to go because he sees him and then hears a blast bang and goes, he's going to go this way. And pinpoint accuracy. Also, just absurd stuff from Brave to be able to get 2 with a ghost. Look at it, he sees him, it's dead on! Dead on! That's disgusting.
Nice. Absolute filth. And I love we give the caveat, oh, they can do it with pistols, but there you go. And that round from Brave was utterly ridiculous. Immediately he went, Shrouded stepping into the back of Rubble. Now Durka has gone right into B and gone right down. There's aggression on the other side, trying to take Rubble control in the meantime. That ain't working out, because Brave's got a rifle this time. He was good with the Ghost, he's even better with this one. And now it's 2 versus 5. There were weaknesses here for Fnatic, let's not forget that. But BBL, they have come out swinging in the first few rounds of Lotus. It's going to be a big challenge for Fnatic to find that momentum again. Because it seems like, I'm thinking back on the rest of this series, once BBL are confident, that's when the rounds start to come in droves.
All right, Andalusia flawless. That's a nice way to end it. Yeah, this team has always had that element of momentum about them. When they get rolling, they're very, very difficult to stop. And that's the thing, like we've hyped up the likes of Pora, Kushner especially. If you're getting Brave as an addition as well, with some of these like just stylish starts to the round. Yeah, that was 2 kills, by the way.
I'm surprised he even saw them through his teammate.
And this is the thing, I think we might already be getting a pause out from Fnatic, because just the manner in which they're losing these rounds, it's just brutal. Like they're getting wrecked in positions that realistically they're normally quite comfortable, quite confident. Like I've always given credit to them for their ability, especially towards Rubble, to clear those angles methodically. Like they'll play slow rounds, and I've never seen them get caught out as easily as they have been there, with just a TP behind them and then just absolute destruction. And then the same aggression in the next round. Brave given 2 1v1s. He wins them both. That's not the most Fnatic look for how this attack side has started.
Yeah, with the utility keeping them back towards main as well, it just allows, in that 2 rounds ago, right, Brave to isolate fights. The Viper wall almost works against Fnatic, blocking the players out from seeing that guy being so close. 4-0 up. What a start this has been. 2 clean rounds as well. Big money makers for the defensive side. As we're going to see these barriers go up yet again for round 5. Fnatic better hope that they've found the solution, because these last few rounds have looked dominant for BBL.
Yeah, another purchase for Fnatic though. As we've said before, they seem like a team that always finds value from their pauses. Got to be careful though. Brave, he's trying to TP out of it. He takes a lot of damage. It was a risk taken. Nade out. It's going to do some damage onto Pora, but they still don't know about the snake in the grass. The thing is, the cage might even reveal his position. Never mind, because the player goes down, it might actually help out a little bit. Although with smokes going down to delay, I'm sure Fnatic are not going to fall for this trap in the corner.
We just think back to Bind. Fnatic are not the kind of team that take an opening pick and get tunnel visioned into a push. If that happened here, no doubt Elite has a big upper hand with a player still on site distracting. But instead, Fnatic have taken it back in the other direction, sending one to lurk behind on C, breaking what would have been a haunt that saw Rubble was wide open. Instead, they have to remain with 2 players on C. Gradual shift to A, though.
30 seconds left.
BBL having to take a 2-2 setup with Trap still clearing out B. Unfortunately, Fnatic have bypassed it.
Alpha. Taken down by Elite. A battle I was excited for. And we've seen stuff from both. Reezy aware as well. They've got a couple of low players that they have to be careful of, but right now a lot of the battles are going in their favor. Another for Elite. Boaster's face there looks a little confused. Hero and Chronicle facing off in this 2v4 scenario. The Cam already going to give one of the positions away. Needing a little bit of help to fight, but now he has to try and do it all, and Elite is there once again. This train of BBL is not stopping. Even a pause from Fnatic won't do the trick.
Of course, I ran into Karahan again. And what did he say to me? First thing, what did I tell you, bro? course, he's impressed with that previous map. I can't wait to hear his opinion after this one. A 5-0 start. Fnatic are the kind of team that we've seen again and again make those comebacks. I'll be holding on hope for that, but this was the round that could have kick-started it, and instead, it's extended that lead. No brakes on this train. When we come back into the round, there's even going to be an upgrade, a change to BBL's defensive stature, an operator in the hands of Kushner X. We didn't get to see too much of that on Ascent, but now a big chance for him. He's already been seen, and well, Alpha Air is 5 HP. This is why you don't challenge Kushner when he has an up.
The start they were looking for. Brave as well. They have not really been able to push him back. And it seems like he's getting bored of just sitting there. Showstopper. It's actually just a trade. Pora was quick enough, didn't panic. Manages to keep things even. It has pulled the rotation, but with how far Brave is, it almost doesn't matter. They can hold the players on B. They know there's no one on A, and I think Chronicle did not expect it to be this far forward, but that's just a mistake you can't make.
4 versus 3, Alpha 5 health. You don't want to see Brave overcommit to this. They don't know how low Alpha is, of course. But even still, with those numbers advantage, the Paranoia didn't hit, but somehow Brave still does. 7 bullets, I think, left in that magazine. Kushner's rotated in to cover the cross, and with the up in hand, there's no stopping him. Only Alpha. 5 health, 30 seconds, and a player holding his walk through. A headshot. The low health didn't even matter. 6-0. Halfway through the first half, and BBL have yet to really stumble, and certainly yet to fall. Oh, last bullet before he was taken out.
I think Fnatic are going to have to really focus on getting rid of Brave early, or at least forcing him back. Like, the amount of control he's able to hold on his own is starting to be a little bit silly, and it's like you have those Prowlers, you have utility that should be able to force him back. Obviously, only a singular snake bite now, so clearing that not quite as easy. But he's going there again and again. A stun already thrown up, and it just holds them in place for Kushner. He doesn't want to stop. Supportive utility already thrown out by Reezy, and this round already looking rough.
At least it's a lower buy where this happens to Fnatic, losing Chronicle at the very start of the round. Big piece of utility taken out. That A wall is supposed to do so much when they push them back from rubble, but well, they haven't done that any round so far. Nice adjustment by Durka. Pora dropped. We've seen how quick he is in previous dish out vengeance against him. For trading that showstopper. BBL have left C open. Bit of space to be taken by Fnatic, but they're understandably cautious on the way through.
Elite sitting back.
Cage trigger.
A little bit of damage done. Boaster trying to play up close, but no sound. Low HP, was the fallback. Does it take even more damage? The nade will do that a little bit more. Alpha at least being able to find one, keeps this one competitive, and in fact, they might throw in a nightfall of their own. Hesitant as to whether to use it. It doesn't matter though, because Alpha's managed to find a couple. Brave though has been unstoppable. They're gonna know where he is. Shot not connected, injury, but he does it all anyway. A rumble clutch, and this might be the best performance we've ever seen from this man. He's dominating the server.
You know, I expect to come in here talk about new coaching staff, about BBL's identity, but the things they're doing right round to round, but for God's sake, they're just better right now. 7-0. So many of these plays from Brave, from Kushner, have just been pulled out of absolutely nowhere. And even when he's caught by this nightfall, spotted by Durka, and swung to trade by Hero, he lands every shot. The coach is gonna have no voice left.
On the other side, they've got no words. They're going to need to find some, because it's the second tactical pause for Fnatic already in this map. Throwing out both of them, but you understand why. Going into this, you expect them normally to be winning that attack side half. They're coming out with at best 5 rounds, but it's also just the manner they're losing them. They're losing them in Fnatic fashion, with crazy clutches, big plays from individuals. Brave, Kushner have been truly sublime, and in spots as well where the expectation is, okay, maybe they have 10 kills, but they should have 8 deaths to go with it, not 2. Brave has been the aggressive A-site hold on his own and has died twice.
At this point, it's only going to get better. Every time they see Omen opposite them, I think their hands are going to start to jitter. harder and harder to hit those shots. It just looks too easy for Brave.
Leave the Dream Seer to me.
7-0. And the barriers go up once more for round 8. Wallbang successfully landing. Damage done to Reezy off rip, and some denial of the space that so far has been taken easily by BBL. But there's been a change. No longer is Brave holding on the A site, where his job has been to have late round impact and hold rubble. On the few occasions they go there instead, Brave is now on the C site. He's been pushed back by some utility, by shrouded steps out of the other side, angles multiplying that he can be peeked from, and instead he will fall back. But this plays as a bait. It should be Elite taking first contact, even showing himself on the site, allowing Brave to catch some from the side. He's been good in heads-up duels. If they go in facing the other way, the round's already over. That could change things.
Oh, where's he going? They expect it. They expect it with how many cheeky plays there've been. They make sure that nobody's going to be playing within that smoke. Fnatic denying the aggression of this side. One will be caught, but I think catching him will be almost impossible. This Rolling Thunder, though, could be filthy. Gonna catch them from behind and use the showstopper, but it's killed Reezy. It's 2 kills, but definitely not one that they
30
wanted.
seconds left.
He was low, caught in the crossfire. Collateral damage in this round. Fnatic have made their way to the C site, but the spike is yet to cross, and now there's 3 players holding. But a man behind enemy lines, perhaps Alphayer, can have some impact with the surprise element, but no, Durka picks up one, 12 seconds left. The spike is in his hands, making its way to site, but Bora catches him on the off angle. And even if he didn't, Elite was waiting for another kill. 8-0. Fnatic still to get on the board, and the credits aren't looking great. Look at the smiles on the side of BBL. They can't believe how easy these rounds are falling into their hand at times. They're having to take themselves out to make it close.
I have to say as well, Pora's utility in this round
One enemy remaining.
like the Rolling Thunder from the back, it forces them back into the showstopper. Sure, it's only 1 kill, but it's more so just how disruptive it is. He then rotates back around and puts an aftershock through the wall and buys another 5 seconds because they can't push. Durka, though, finally is going to shut down some of this aggressive push. There's still one man they have to deal with, though. And they have, finally. It takes all of that to get rid of Brave. This time, fortune didn't favor him.
They've made the right call. They don't know it, but if they commit to A, I think Pora wins this round. I was just waiting for it. Sitting inside tree, that position shouldn't be expected with such aggressive A positions in the early round, but they have avoided him. They've gone to B. Spike is planted. Double the numbers. Viper's Pit is a safety. Durka, one from Showstopper. This should be it. At long last, Fnatic seem to have gotten around to the board. If Pora wins this one, I might just leave the building. Would be truly ridiculous, and he will be shut down. Fnatic with a round on the board. It's not too late yet, certainly not by Fnatic's metrics. Coming into round 10, let's hope they can string them together.
It still took a lot. Like, I'm loving the way that the utility is being used by BBL just to make these fights so awkward. Like having an instant deeper C's, then you have the stun to stop them being able to get out. Durka basically had to style over the top of all of that utility just to find those kills. And it seems like BBL are not going to be shying away from it. The stun still looks like it's being set up with the same utility as before. It seems like, again, Durka's going to get past, but he is caught. In fact, it's a different stun a little bit later.
It certainly caught them off guard, and look at the results. Chronicle pulls it back into a doable position. Durka firing from afar, but Pora's got enough time to dodge the rocket. So,
Don't you dare! Don't you dare!
Oh, and he's down! What a shot from Pora! It's all on Chronicle, but he's got a pit. Something to work with. Going for the plant first. Keeping it safe. Oh, and a nice shot to Pora for his 3rd of the round. Viper's Pit. And the door needs to be opened, or else he can just sit staring forward, waiting for a decayed Elite to round the corner. The highlight will give him away. He has crossed. He's now on the right. He's closing the distance and almost lands it. 5 HP, all that's in it. The decay saved the day for Fnatic. 8-2 now.
It takes another Red Bull clutch to put them onto the board. Definitely too close for comfort, especially, again, the start to this round, it was dicey. I love the switch up of stun later to go deeper to try and catch the players off guard, and it's Chronicle all the way that does the work. Being able to find both kills in this 1v2 and the 2 that brought the round back in the first place. Pora though, that pre-fire through the wall to catch a player is just disgusting. Like, this guy is on another level.
What kind of shots you take if you've got Odin there, but the guy's doing it with a Vandal. What a read. Nightfall used. Shrouded step onto C. Lots of information. Players pushed back. No sound to work with. Paranoia in case they pushed up close. And the plant can be secured. They're waiting for that utility. They've seen it before. They know that's what Fnatic like to do, or what BBL like to do. Fnatic making the read. And now look to execute on the back of it, find a few kills. Poor is stuck in the corner, very low on HP. But his teammates are primed and ready to blitz back in. Fnatic step back. They wait for it with a firing squad. A great adjustment, and with the kill on Kushner X, a great round win. Poor is only 26 HP. Surely he doesn't even go for that, but hey, you know, you gotta go for it sometimes. Roll the dice.
I guess they've rolled it a few times and it's come up 6s, so maybe wanted to try it again, but I think that time maybe holding onto the gun would have had a little bit more value. Fnatic finally finding their footing. And a lot of it just seems to be in the middle of a lot of these plays, just waiting for whatever disruptive, aggressive interjection is going to be there from BBL.
Toxins going up.
From 8-0 down, they've done a good job at making this attack side at least have some foundations to it. There's a fair bit more to go. 8-4, pistol win. Fnatic are right back on the ball.
destroyed.
Blasting! See if that can happen. Elite.
Here.
Waiting around the smoke. They get the information that there's players close, but it's only going to be the trade.
Everyone hiding.
The information will tell them where the players are. It's whether they can capitalize on it, and absolutely not. Fnatic instead, Hero giving them a further advantage. Boaster with another. Fnatic looking like a different beast in these last 4 rounds of the half as Kushner. Well, he's got to go for this one.
They finally figured it out here on the attack. There were definitely a couple bumps in the road, but not ones you could see coming. I can understand it. BBL's early aggression was crazy. Now their late round aggression needs to be 1 versus 4. If there's any man to do it, it is this one, but look at Fnatic. They are, well, not offering individual fights. They're all grouped up. Showstopper's good. Boaster's down. I'm starting to get worried. He's only 43 HP. Nade close is very good. It's going to force them back, give a 1v1. But this one, he doesn't win. Hero finally puts an end to a stressful close of the half. 8-4. It is doable.
Yeah, it always seems to be doable. Crowd definitely still believing that there's opportunities here for Fnatic, especially with a pistol win. We've seen them flip the script many times before, and with BBL, it seemed like they had them dead to rights, but a 4-round streak to end the half gives them that a little bit of wiggle room, a little bit of hope.
This pistol's going to carry a lot of weight, Tom, and BBL have been pretty good at them so far. Those early injections of rounds, making lost maps close, making 1 maps doable. Pressure will come towards A.
No charges.
They've been fantastic at controlling Rubble on their defense. It makes sense they want to scrap for it. Right off rip on the attack. But Fnatic certainly don't. A much more passive setup than what we saw from BBL in the first.
It's those early stuns from Pora that were making it so difficult to take that control, along with the C's. Fnatic don't seem as willing to commit that much utility. And I'm vicious fan, but it does actually seem to have deterred Pora from taking. Just Chronicle's got to be careful he doesn't run out of bullets.
Prowler through to B. Turret still waiting. Boaster's rotated in up top, but it's the push out of Durka that might not be expected. This box has to be cleared. They've spammed it a few times. They're suspicious, but not suspicious enough. Durka nade online, and it's found its way right onto the side, pushing them back, and he'll catch them on the way out. The bullets don't land, but the info is there, and Chronicle strikes on the back of it. Strikes out for the second kill, but Braves in a 1 versus 4. An ace clutch They've been good in pistols. This man's been spectacular all series long, but this, it has to be too big of an ask.
Yeah, I think just making sure they get a few extra credits, but the round is Fnatic's. Dirk, a sneaky spot. Speaking of players who've been fantastic all the way through, he's definitely looking back to form.
Blinding.
I think with a new addition standing in for now, I think Dirk definitely needs to pick up that mantle a little bit more. For now, though, that streak continues. 5 rounds in a row now for Fnatic from an 8-0 start for BBL. I guess start and middle, you could say. It's quite a lot of rounds.
There.
This round at least. You'd think maybe they could invest a little bit more, but that timer has frozen, so I'm guessing we're gonna have to wait a little bit longer.
Yeah, small tech pause.
That's a worrying amount of players without headphones on. I bet. it was 3, now it's down to 2, so I'm guessing it's something to do with sound.
Well, that's good progress. Yeah, it seems refitting those in-ears, taking a moment to readjust. And look, for BBL, 8 rounds in a row, you lose 5. Many teams have seen this up against Fnatic. The momentum starts to switch. The pistol goes their way. They'll find the second, most likely. Although BBL fought back before. So did Fnatic on this map. But for this squad, I don't feel like it's time to worry just yet. It's the first bye round. Round 15. That's where we're going to get a real litmus test of how the second half is going to go. And again, a lot of that early success from BBL, aside from the rounds where Brave just decimated them, it was an issue of Fnatic not being able to control Rubble. Even in the rounds that they didn't go to Rubble, one player pushes up, Brave, it was always him, holding that information, and they would be ready to stack up and quickly rotate as soon as sound and presence was spotted on the other side of the map. Here on their attack, they'll have to rely on something else to be their success, and Fnatic no longer have to run headfirst into a meat grinder. It is definitely where the shoe could swap to the other foot. But I do think that even if Fnatic win every round from this point forward, they will struggle to have the same form of showmanship as BBL did in those first 8 rounds. They were truly ridiculous.
I don't know, you say that. Do you remember what happened in the last map? 2 aces?
2 aces.
2 aces and a half?
Was it back-to-backers or rounds separated?
No, I think there was 1 or 2 rounds separating.
Yeah.
So it
would have been unbelievable.
Oh, would have.
It still is.
It wasn't. The 2
wasn't good enough.
2 aces, if they're not back-to-back, what's even the point?
Didn't even win the map, who cares?
But yeah, I think we know that. I think everyone will know that there's always going to be points where Fnatic can turn this tide, and for BBL, it's basically quelling that as soon as possible. Now, to talk about what's happening as of right now, financially, maybe they can invest a few pistols. It's not going to be anything too much, mainly because they want to make sure the buys have been better. I think that is where we've seen a lot of the best sort of play so far from the side of BBL. Also for Fnatic, it's one of those rounds where realistically you're just trying to keep things as clean as humanly possible, not lose too much of what you've invested. And with how the last few have gone, it definitely seems like they're getting back into the groove. The problem is, though, if things do go wrong again, they don't have a pause anymore. They've already used both of them in the last half after losing 7 in a row, I believe it was, and then I think they lost 1 more and then started winning. So it took a little bit of time for the pause to kick in. We'll also have to see if that's another effect, because well, we saw, I feel like a vast improvement in that when Mini came back, and he's now not here with them again because it's Kojo sat in the seat. So he retired from his duties of keeping Elmer Putty company. I'm sure he adds in great analytical stuff as well.
What are you trying to say?
Oh, the game's tied.
Oh,
going back into the round.
Oh, I see. Okay, moving swiftly on. It must be. Well, for BBL, like we said, they lose out the previous. This isn't where we expect to see them go blow for blow. Instead, they have pistols. We look for damage. Making a costly reinvestment, but it's tough up against a side like Fnatic. They play with 2 pistols a lot of the time in these rounds. They've done it again. And so even if they do lose a few, they'll be in pretty good fighting form for the next, thanks to minimal investments. With only Elite left, He's got a lot of work to do to make this an impactful BBL round, and well, that's enough utility to send a whole army back.
Yeah, I think they have a good idea of where he is. Still almost manages to take down Durka, but it won't be the case. Durka climbing up that board and also earning up those ult orbs as well. Putting themselves just 2 now behind. And of course, with not losing the players that had those rifles, the remaining couple are going to buy back up, and this is going to be a very good second round, or third round buy even, for the side of Fnatic.
Yeah, the usual Fnatic third rounds. And the eye definitely drawn to BBL. 6 in a row now for Fnatic. Attack side on a map where comfort levels are unknown. Good nade. Brave is in a little bit of trouble. He's stuck up close, but the nade was a little bit too deep. So he survives that with a good amount of health still. And the rubble control does fall into BBL's hands.
This is already what was initially 4 players rotating from Fnatic off that initial control, wanting to try and fight it back, and they're still going to encroach back on that position. You can see one towards the broken door as well. The thing is though, Cushion has actually used their own Viper screen against them. He has played aggressively. The paranoia just a split second too late. Unfortunate timing at that, and Brave has reacted well. It leaves a solo defender of Boaster, and it's just not pretty. Reezy is too easy for him to win that fight in the end. And now for Chronicle and Alpha, it needs to be another hero play.
Almost caught Brave. A snake bite, an ambitious play. I might even have caught him. He's taken a moment to peek. Waiting for the vulnerability to fade away. He's been spotted on the cross back, but nothing you can do about that now. And without the pick, is it even worth going for? Alphayere's on the site of B, walking around, clearing out heaven, trying to find these players, but Pora was hot on his heels the whole time. In the end, they won't be going for it. Both players
got to be baffed.
Luckily escaping to carry these weapons forward.
He's just taken a bus tour of the site looking for where they're going to be going.
No one there.
Jump on, jump off. Normally you don't get to jump back off again. A bit of an obscure position to save. I don't think that's going to be checked. And for BBL, they're more than happy to just keep the weapons going forward. But yeah, I think, again, they're just not aware. It's literally a split second. It's unfortunate. I don't think there can even really be much critique, but just not aware that Kushner could have got into that corner. Again, it's that 1-2 punch. It's the reaction of Brave afterwards. I also like the fact, by the way, I think he had a TP left. So he could have just TP'd back across safely. But he decided to walk back across after he wasn't vulnerable anymore.
I didn't even realize he still had it online. Yeah. It's a little bit ludicrous. I like Durka's lineup. It's looking good. It's looking very good. Damage off rip, half health on Brave. Shield stripped.
Oh, so
I'm including the shields in that. Brave around the side. They don't expect him to be here, and that's a huge oversight in this round of all for Brave to get that opportunity, even a third on a platter. The hero does manage to take him down with 30 HP. He ain't getting out of there. 2 versus 4. Wild spams for Chronicle, one of the best chances they have to get back into this, and none of them connect. Now the A site will be taken, a seize nade back, or a haunt nade, excuse me, backside, and a plant to come through.
Again, it's the same 2 players on the other side of the map that, again, are just in a scenario where they might just have to hold on to the weaponry. They could be able to drop a couple over in the next round as well, so it's definitely worthwhile. But this round is almost just purely off a massive oversight. Like, you're looking at Brave. Bear in mind the guy who spent the entirety of last round in that position and has a TP, and one of the most common things you can do at the beginning of the rounds is try and TP across. And it's just like, because they didn't see it, I don't know, because they had the pre-fire, just blindly assumed that he wasn't there, and he gets both kills for it. Like, that is not something I expect to see at the top level. And I think Fnatic, it'll be one of those rounds you watch back and go, yeah, it's obvious where the mistake was, but it's cost them a round.
It's one of those rounds where you're going to be sat there tapping the pause button afterwards, but it's disconnected. Yeah, it ain't working anymore. You've already used your timeouts.
At that point, they should just make it a, you have already used all of your pauses. If you would like more pauses, please subscribe. No,
oh God! For $5.99, you can have 1 extra pause.
I think it needs to be a bit more expensive than that.
Placing swamp grenade.
$6.99. You can have one extra. Well, 10-6, 4-round gap. Fnatic saved the weapons. It was the right call again, just to give them a better shot. 2v4 or 5v5 with a couple extra weapons. Boaster has gone for a judge, playing up close on B. Nasty carry on, but he won't get an opportunity for now because we see BBL clearing up on A.
They don't drop a couple of guns here. I feel like they could have got a bit more into this round. I guess save him for the next one, but they're very close to just having a 4-buy, and with a showstopper in play, a judge would have kind of padded the gap anyway, but...
Yeah, true. I guess at this point, though, Fnatic are not very risk-averse. They want to leave any gamble plays behind them, because for now, a gamble like that could just end the game. 11-6, you've already splashed all your cash. Maybe you use that showstopper out of desperation when things start to go awry, and then what are you left with to make that huge comeback? They're always a team that play the long game. But the gap for them to get back in is closing. BBL looking for their 11th. Set themselves up to be 2 away from opening stage 2 with a victory over Fnatic. That peek from Hero, the timing is good, and eventually the shots land for a kill.
Oh, now the showstopper, it's so well placed! If he doesn't connect the shots, it doesn't matter. Eventually, he'll do it with the pistol as well. He could have got 3, he ends up getting 2, just in a different fashion. And while Fnatic didn't need to bring home that purchase, because they did it with the weaker buy anyway.
An impressive round from Fnatic. The kill coming out on A just forces BBL to move that bit quicker into B. And the forces are waiting for them there. The showstopper perfect onto Elite. The fact your other player is caught trying to take their weapon back out after blast packing through makes it all that bit easier. An upsetting round for BBL, but they still have that lead. 3 rounds to the good, 3 away. Fnatic on the defense. Odin's back out. Spams will be there. But this time, BBL are not looking for rubble control. A change in their pace as the C site is their new target. Well, at least the C orb. We'll see if they shift back.
They've definitely shown a lot of presence towards that A side of the map. You can see that Fnatic are being a lot more careful. Here goes the showstopper. It's going to be a quick retreat, but is it quick enough? Just no!
What? 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 Does that box not exist?
Spike drop.
I did not think that was going to land.
Me neither. I think I'm definitely going to need to watch that one back for now. Fnatic have got to play from an even footing. That definitely looked peculiar. I'm not sure what's happened there. Nonetheless, back in they go. Durka is going to rectify things for a second, but Kushner already dropping another. It's starting to fall apart, but even still, they've kept it even. The spam's out. Now it's left all onto one. Chronicle in the clutch. Facing off against Elite, and the timing from Elite is sublime. It's going to be another round onto the board for BBL as they'll break back versus Fnatic.
2 more rounds. This is where every little mistake, every little victory is felt so much more. That's got to be frustrating. That's got to be so frustrating for Alpha. I don't think I've seen a showstopper land there before, I guess. At least not with players close. But now I have. Lesson learned.
Yeah. I don't know what lesson it is.
Stay away from the box.
Don't
go in the other direction.
Yeah. Sure, he'll feel a little bit hard done by. I feel it for him.
Absolutely.
Fnatic have to try and forget about it, move on. Got themselves rifles on the majority. So they Boaster a little bit lower. And Alpha now looking for a little bit of revenge.
One weakness on Boaster, another on Durka. But they still spur forward. Oh my goodness, the utility's what gets it done. Brave again finds himself down low, but he has crossed, and they have absolutely no idea that he could be here by the looks of things. Alpha's position up top, back turned. It's going to be free. At least one. Brave now got 2 up on offer. This could be easy. Oh, he's whiffed it on the first. Alpha turned and spotted him, but still able to recover. A player wrapping, though. It's Hero to stop this before it got out of hand. 11-8. Fnatic not letting BBL run away with it just yet. And that round win for Fnatic puts BBL down to a low buy. Credits out of the game. That's rough.
Oh, there's a couple of things in this round that look really rough. He jumps up and then walks back. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Nice!
A couple of blips, and actually BBL gonna take a pause of their own. We saw things slip in the last map and eventually close it out. This time things start a little bit closer. What was it, 10-4 last time around? 3 the difference. And Fnatic have a couple of ultimates online. I'm looking at the current purchases and there's one on the board that if it stays, interesting. We'll see if it's still there when the pause fades away. I don't want to give any spoilers. But this is a huge moment. For both teams, they're in the middle of the pack when it comes to that fight for playoffs. Obviously for Fnatic managing to win the last stage, they're doing a little bit better in terms of the champions points, which always have to be mentioned. It definitely can be confusing at times, but they're in a good spot there. But in the table for playoffs, they're a little bit lower down. Expectations for them are definitely to make it. Top 6 go through, but with that middle of the pack, 5 teams being 3-3, it really can go any way. And for the teams that did well last split, for the likes of Foot, they might feel just that little bit safer.
Well, it seems Fnatic are quite aware somebody could be rubbled this time. Sees nade fired out, Haunt as well, just to be sure. You see Kushner up close. If they expect this, I will be perplexed and impressed. Dirk has got one with a boom bot. Kushner, low HP, gets the nade out, but before it even emerges from the smoke, the shot's fired back. A very good round for the side of Fnatic, shutting this down before the dangers that were lurking can find anything in the way of success. 19 HP Pora, this is not even going to catch them by surprise. They're watching this exact angle, waiting for him, and now finding him.
Last second, the bait and switch. Yeah, any damage they can do here would be nice.
Last player standing.
But it's not going to be from Brave. And as said, they knew exactly where Pora was coming from. He's going to try and just jump beat the angle, but it's an Andalucia flawless. Fnatic still continuing that road back. Always down, never out. Ult's in a great spot, although some building up and online for the other side as well. The question is, do BBL have the stones to do this twice? Because as I said, last map was similar. Fnatic started to come back, they closed it right at the last second. This time, well, they're not even at 12 yet.
Fnatic come in with 4 ults up against 3, but BBL's only really the Rolling Thunder that will change the course of a round for Fnatic. Most of theirs can be high impact. Sees nade again, Brave in trouble, and he's caught trying to retreat. The nade would have gotten him either way. Good punish by Fnatic. We saw that setup last round, but it didn't land because no one was there. This time BBL go walking straight into it, and now they move back to the C site, where previously they lost half their team to utility on the way through.
Yeah, this 1-2 punch of a Killjoy alongside a Viper, it makes it very difficult. You take so much on the way in, although there hasn't really been any point of contact. He's seen the barrel though. That gives Chronicle a freebie. There needs to be some support utility. He's actually survived on the edge. The util not working out. And while Alpha, it seems like that showstopper kill has almost angered him a little bit ever since he's been unstoppable. Elite 1v5.
Camera taken out.
You'd need an ISO shield to get through this one.
Then I might believe, actually, yeah. I would, oh my God, can you imagine BBL with that ISO? There's so many teams I'm terrified of, but Heretics has to be #1. Mini Boo, Woot, ISO Neon, it's over, just surrender. If I was on the other side, I would. This match is far from over though, 11-10, a few rounds left to play for in regulation. I feel an overtime brewing.
I can give you one a little bit more terrifying.
What's that?
Angel.
Oh, the return. The return of Angel.
We thought the cloak was going to be scary, but yeah. Give that man the ability to run in, be shot in the face and not die. You're done for.
Oh yeah.
I will find you.
There'll be that Vitality bind all over again.
Well, it's a sea of ultimates for Fnatic. It was looking good previously, but now they've added a showstopper to their arsenal. Everything to work with, and not much that they're up against. A rifle for Kushner X could very well win the round. Brave left to a stinger. And it looks like they'll be pushing through the Viper's pit. They've gone all the way, dodging the decay to start with. Kushner up top, caught by Alpha here, and the rest of the squad just doesn't have what it takes to get through that Viper's pit. They change direction, but it's Durka that's waiting for them on the other side. That showstopper's still there, and it's unlikely to be used in this round. Already the advantages are accruing, and they've already burned some ultis. Why waste another when it's only one left? Brave on low HP and a quick punish. Only Durka falls, and we are equalized 11-11. I mentioned that when you get to this extent, this deep into a series, and then the map is getting close, Fnatic are closing in, and you're right on the cusp of victory. Every loss feels 10 times worse, 100 times worse, the closer that scoreline gets. And now, BBL have been equalized on. They've got a buy round coming up, Tom. All credits invested. It's now or never.
I think the one silver lining of the last round is that 3 ults were burnt up.
Yes.
I'll find you.
Considering they didn't have much, it's not too bad. This is super aggressive though. Straight away, there's that showstopper. You mentioned it wasn't used in the last round. It's immediately used in this one. Brave, who's been one of the best players for BBL, already gone. Smokes removed as well. It's not the case where they have that Viper for backup. Oh, Pora leading the charge. He's the man with the supportive utility, but he's also the man with the spike, and he's going to go down immediately. Hero now steps up and puts this one seemingly to bed.
Retrieve the spike.
It's still Elite and Kushner X. Might be up against a full squad of Fnatic, but they can get it done. They've proven that to us already. That's 2 quick kills for Kushner. A showstopper used to buy them some time. A plant to come in, and neural theft activated for the information. Even the attempted flank by Chronicle will get them nothing. He wraps back around to his teammates, but look at Kushner.
Don't you dare.
He's gone walkabouts. This was a problem for Fnatic. When it came to bind, they were wrapped on again and again. This time they're ready, but Bolster gets dropped. The kill goes on Alpha here, and Chronicle has to do it all. This was looking like 12-11, and it will be one way or another, and it might just be for BBL. Kushner X. The nade leaves Chronicle on 39, and even as he moves to the spike to tap it, Kushner is close by. It'll be halved at least. Chronicle maybe sticking it, but he gets off just in time! They came close, and what a try by BBL! But the Red Bull clutch puts Fnatic at 12-11 at map and series point.
It's another Red Bull clutch. I didn't think it would be going Fnatic's way with the way that round just slipped away from them. It seemed like Kushner and Elite did everything, but the one man they didn't kill was the clutch king himself. He's the first one that needs to die if you're going to pull off any form of clutch situation. 5 rounds in a row for Fnatic. Multiple times this series they've looked down. But as always, with the current champions of EMEA, you need to double tap. You need to finish them off. You need to make sure that they're not going to come back to life. Durka already roaming with that operator. But there is still a buy here for BBL. They've still got a chance to take this to OT.
They do, and they've got the Rolling Thunder backing it up. It hasn't been used in a number of rounds, and this time it has to be, surely, before they even enter that site. You can see how quickly these players are able to fall back, though. Durka creating a little bit more space. He's up top on site, but still with 2 blast packs. In fact, moving around now, he's in a bit more of a vulnerable position if they do deploy the Rolling Thunder. He wants to kill. Wants to blast pack out, I presume, pick up the rifle that he's positioned for himself. No. There's the shot! It's Pora with the Rolling Thunder, with the breach, who's the first man into the angle. A big mistake for BBL, although they might get back into it. The Paranoia's even caught Alpha here, and Kushner's able to kill him. The nade was forcing him out of position. The advantage falls back to the attackers.
I'm looking at Chronicle still standing. He's coming in for a flank. It's definitely being watched. Doesn't have the gun for this, not necessarily at least. And now Brave knows he's there. The surprise factor is gone. The rest of the players need to make a move, need to create something, and Breezy dropping another straight away, gonna commit that nightfall. Chronicle again though. always deadly in these scenarios. They've got to be careful. Another for Hero. Again, the tie begins to turn. Chronicle with one more. It's left to the 1v1. The new man on the block will be the hero for Fnatic. It's going to be 13-11. The comeback complete.
Hey, Hero, welcome to Fnatic, buddy. This is what it's like. 3 maps, 13-11. 11-11 down, 2v1 for 4 BBL. It looked like the dominoes were already falling and there was no stopping it. But Chronicle and Hero pull those last 2 rounds out. What an introduction to this stage for that young gun and to this team. Fnatic back to their old winning ways.
I honestly am starting to wonder if when Fnatic look at picking up players, they just sort by clutch percentage, because it's just ridiculous how this team is able to do this. The highest pressure situation Hero's ever been in his life. A chance to end a game, end a series, take your first win in Split 2. And that's exactly what he does. A smile on his face, no doubt, and for Fnatic, a victory that was, well, hard fought for. And the problem for BBL is it's, again, another game where you go, you could have had that. They missed out on the playoffs last split by 1 map victory, nothing else. It wasn't points, it wasn't even round difference. They would have beaten the team above them, Liquid, and it came down to maps. They fought well today, and I'm sure any team facing off against them going forward in the tournament is going to be scared if they've just done that to Fnatic, but even still, this felt like a game for them to lose.
It absolutely did. It looked like it as we came into those last couple of rounds. But always in the back of your mind, this is Fnatic. This is what they do. You just can't doubt the stats out there, the reality of the situation. But even with a new player in, it is phenomenal to see this level from Fnatic. Also to confirm that BBL still a top contender. Look, they pushed them all the way. The teams are going to be scared to face off against that squad, even on Lotus, a map that wasn't exactly the top of their map pool. Pretty impressive stuff. But for Fnatic, the victory is claimed. And now, well, off to, I guess, a predictable start to this stage. I gotta say, Uri's having a tough run of it. He was with Koi yesterday. But today, he told me BBL are gonna take it. He was close.
He's very, very close each time. That seems to be the case with Uri and his predictions, as well as a lot of these rounds. I'm still thinking about Chronicle clutches. There was so many high-impact rounds from someone who has been there, done that, got the T-shirt, brought out a new agent earlier in the day as well that we hadn't seen from him, really showing that sort of extra flexibility that he can pull out of this one. But that is just the case when it comes to this Fnatic team. You know what you're getting. You know what's coming up for them. You know that's going to be the case throughout the entire season. But the fact that they're able to do this, bring in a youngster, bring in someone who hasn't played at this level before in replacement for Leo, someone who will be dearly missed in every single game. But for now, at least, we're going to hear from the leader alongside our leader. Take it away, Yinsu.
Thank you very much, Mitch and Tom. That's right, I'm now joined by the IGL. Fnatic, welcome back to EMEA. A very, very challenging match, but you won that with the standing with Hero coming in and also him getting the clutch at the end as well. So tell me, what's it been like with him? How long have you had to practice with him? And just generally, what's it like to have another new player on the team?
Yeah, I mean, he's a pleasure to have in replacement of Leo, obviously, for now. And yeah, he's super keen, super energetic, and yeah, we're trying to get him as involved in the team as much as possible. And we were like, don't worry about today, just do the basics. We're not expecting you to drop 30, but fortunately, he was actually having quite a few blinder rounds, so we'll take it. Yeah, and it was just nice for him to have his first win on this stage.
Yeah, we saw you kind of help him with the in-ears and stuff. It was super wholesome. Am I correct in saying that this is his first really big kind of stage in his career?
I mean, I'd have to ask him, but I think so. Like, I asked him how he's feeling. He was like, yeah, I'm just really excited. I'm feeling confident. I was like, you're feeling confident? Oh my God, if I was 18 coming on my first stage, I'd be excited, but confident, I don't know whether I would be or not. But yeah, he's a pleasure to have, and the boys have really stepped up around him as well, making him feel comfortable and just doing stuff together outside of scrims as well. You know, like, we weren't even expecting Lotus, so we played one scrim on it. It were like, just in case they leave it, and then it was a good thing we did get the little scrim on it.
I mean, they've been working hard since you've been in Shanghai. You can see that the way they changed their comps and stuff, but you guys also changed your comp on Ascent. It felt like vintage Fnatic doing things nobody else does. By the way, congratulations, that was the first deadlock win we've seen in EMEA, so you guys are the first there. Whose idea was that? Whose idea was it? You know, who made all of the setups and so on?
It's hard to say whose idea. I think right now I'd say me. Personally, but it just takes a little bit of convincing for Elmer and Minnie, because obviously we have good basics on every comps that we have, but I was just like, I'm so bored of playing Ascent. Can we just do something like a Deadlock or something? Like, it's working. Look at the win rates. Look at the win rates. And that was my kind of way of convincing them. And eventually they were like, all right, yeah, we'll just do it, because the win rates are actually doing all right.
I mean, yeah, we're hearing the applause is because Heretics have just arrived on stage. I want to ask you a question about Heretics as well. I think everybody is looking at them as probably the best team we have in the league right now, and everyone is saying that if you beat them, then you become the best. Would you agree on that?
I think we're not really focused on EMEA. We're focused on hopefully getting to champions. Oh, yeah, I said hopefully.
This before,
no, that's why
so.
I said hopefully getting to champions. And yeah, we just want to win the champ. So we got to get there first. So day by day, we're just going to keep practicing and keeping the scrims positive. And if it's so be it, we have to beat Heretics on the way, then we're looking forward to the challenge. And I actually quite like playing them, because they're a team that remind me of just good stuff.
Wow. I mean, I'm going to ask them a bit later what they think about you saying they just remind you of good stuff. But last question before I let you go. I know you guys are every single team, every single player in this league right now has champions in focus, but how difficult do you think it will be for you guys without Leo?
I mean, Leo was such a kind of crucial member in the team, which is why I'm really happy that everyone on the team managed to step up and embrace extra roles and responsibilities with Hero coming in. And if we just keep this up, I think we'll see good progress on all of our maps. And we just got to make sure that these games are really taken full advantage of and learning from them and preparing ourselves for when it's squeaky bum time and we're ready. And, you know, not have the same event as Shanghai.
Yeah, well, one look ahead. As Leo says, you don't live in the past. You don't live in the past. But thank you very much, Bosa, for joining me. Fnatic, they've gotten past BBL today, but we have another EMEA team returning from Master Shanghai right after this break. Heretics will be taking on Na'Vi.
Where you been? I'm back, let's bump that. Got a phantom in my hand, I'll clutch that. Get an agent on flank, got a loop back. Shall we simmer on down with a 5-step? Where we been? I don't know, going downtown. Got the city lights singing like a ghost town. Got the body frags hiding all spooked out. Cause we got radiant night, you better bow down. Now, whoa, you from Omega with the oh no. I'm with the Alpha and you know, don't make that ticket spike sound. Put that away, you'll hurt yourself. Be an anchor, let it all come your way. We got plenty for you, boy. Just say we got sheriffs, so starry-eyed boys. Got the banner highs, going to the banner world. Who's there? Know this. Ooh, when my back's against the wall, all the mirrors will dissolve. Bring the heat, bring it on. Watch me ignite. I'ma take you all down like dominoes. I'ma take you out with another spike drop. Overheated, but I love to lock and load. I hear the echo, I hear the echo. Bang, bang, on a bad team with the versatile. Ba-ta-ta-ta-ta all day. Enough with the chit-chat, steady with the one tab. I'ma set it off, just wait. Oh, eres de Omega con la oh no. Sabe que la alfa soy yo. Go, vete, vuelve cuando no estoy así. Desapareció. Oh, como piensa que no traigo la peña, la de cero se lo. Ya me chata.